So he was in a state where having a gun is illegal. Does that not change the scenario?
No, like literally, guns are not legal for most people to carry. You have to have some type of ID. There are many places all across America where guns are illegal. Every New Year, people, as tradition, shoot their guns off. Police are not arresting people, especially killing people
You're
on the
missing what I'm
basis of he was
asking
shooting
you.
a gun.
Again, I'm gonna ask you one more time. He was in a state where that gun was illegal, no matter who he was. That state do not allow people to have guns. Period. So him having a gun is already criminal offense. So now him being outside with that gun, shooting the gun, you don't see the issue with that.
That's sad, man.
No, I find issue. Listen, if we're gonna make a comment, let's be factual. Guns not illegal in California, so I don't know where that's coming from. That's the first thing. Correct?
He had an AK-47 though, bro. He didn't just
Guns
have a
are
pistol.
not illegal. He just said that.
Yes,
said
that
guns
is.
are legal in that state.
AK-47 is
He
illegal in
just said guns
California.
are.
He
He,
had-
didn't say. He didn't say AK-47. He literally just said guns are illegal. So I'm just saying,
Okay.
let's make correct
Okay.
statement. All right.
Okay.
Second of
Hold on.
all,
Didn't we all listen to the video here though?
Please, y'all. That doesn't fucking help. Because I'm tired of people just trying to pinpoint one inaccurate thing when you don't understand the whole fucking conversation. And then when
I
we
agree.
allow them to do that, it doesn't help the conversation. Stop allowing those people to do this. He know what I meant. So we don't have to say, hey, but it was the exact. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. We know in that place. You know what?
You're right. Keep going. That's why we can never move forward in these type of conversations.
That's why I be just wanting to call them what they are, because you're never
Yeah,
able
but
to
it
move
doesn't help.
forward, man. They just
Doesn't help
constantly
the conversation.
gaslight you to death.
All right, so I won't have them up then. That makes you feel better.
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm
But
saying.
it
I'm
is
just
what
saying,
you
like,
say when you
okay.
just dismiss people.
it's
we
just
gotta
show. My
allow-
bad.
We still gotta allow people to talk, but still we cannot give them outs, because when we start interrupting it and they say BS and they try to hone on this one thing while we in the midst of a heated conversation, he want to hone in on the one thing that I misspoke instead of the overarching point. And we keep giving people outs on this bullshit because we in the heated
Same thing
argument.
happened to me. I know exactly how you feel.
Go ahead, OtisWho.
No, I don't really have much to say. Well, peace out and help. Well, not peace out. Welcome and peace out to the well, I keep saying peace out. There's weed kicking in. Peace to the chat and the panel.
But Otis, I'm tired of y'all
All right,
blaming it on the
hold
weed.
on, either man. Detroit wanted to talk on what KT saw. Maybe Detroit has a more coherent argument. Go ahead.
About
Detroit.
shooting the gun in the air.
Yeah, which is a crime, which usually comes with a civil citation. Like they don't if they catch you in the act of doing it, then that's one thing. But what I know is that ICE agent did not have jurisdiction for what he went out there to confront. I know he did. You know, from all accounts, he's hard to get. I don't know what to watch. From all accounts, he saw the guy outside shooting, went in and went in whatever part of his house and put on his ICE gear, and then came outside and confronted this guy. That wasn't his duty. Now, if he was trying to protect people from this guy shooting at them or something like that, that's one thing. That's not what all the reports are showing. They're saying it was celebratory shots, which is illegal, but is a misdemeanor in most cases, or a civil infraction, right? Or if it's a felony, it's something that the police would handle. Hold on, hear me out. Or if it is a felony, it's something that the police will handle. His duty should have been to inform the police, and he didn't do that. I won't put what his intent is, and that's where I try to separate the facts I gather from my thoughts. Is the intent. Now you start stacking up things together and you can see people's intent. But as far as that officer though, I'm not going to put any intent on him, but I know that he should have been calling and notifying the LA police or whoever that was that this was going on. That was the proper thing to do. And if you want to call that cowardice, I mean, I don't understand that, because he didn't protect anybody from getting murdered. He murdered somebody.
So every bullet that goes up must come down, right? Like when people make this statement, like he wasn't hurting anybody, all those bullets must come back to the ground. right? So if letting him continuously shoot in the air actually harms a lot of people in this area, or potentially harm is the thing. So I don't know why we just, it's like we're anti everything
Then
at this
call the
point.
police. Then
No,
call the police.
no,
Because he is
no.
not, it's not his jurisdiction. No matter
Yes,
what
it
you try to say
was.
about it, it's
Back
not his
Hold on,
chat.
but
jurisdiction.
No, stop the bullshit.
Not his
Back chat.
jurisdiction.
We have to allow people to finish their
well, let me
statement.
finish because I
God.
was in the I was in the middle of the
We
sentence.
cannot keep jumping in people's middle of a conversation. We are going to be here for a while. There's no rush. Calm down, y'all.
So the point that I want people to understand is, if a guy was shooting a gun in the air, as a citizen, I have the right to defend people in that area and also defend myself. I don't have to call and wait for the police. I don't know why we think that if people's lives are in danger, it's almost like
Exactly.
somebody's robbing a bank. I'd be like, oh, I got my gun on my side, OtisWho, but I don't have the right to use it. That's not how we're set up. So I just want y'all to understand this. Even a civilian would have been in the right, being able to save the
Exactly.
people around him. So now we're trying to say if civilians by law could have saved the people around him, an ICE agent who is trained do not have that right. It's almost like we want to take the rights away from the ICE agents. That's the only point I'm
And
making.
civilians, and Americans. That's
Yep.
like. And then they wonder, like this. I'm sorry for being disrespectful, y'all, but the stuff y'all saying today, man, is so crazy. Listen to what, like, Edom man just took what I said out of my mouth. I was about to say exactly what he said. If me and Edom man and Sharon was walking down the street, we hear AK going off. We have the right to go to the threat as Americans. Now, other countries don't have that right. They don't even have guns in certain countries where the people can do that. Bondi Beach in Australia, all those people getting shot. The guy takes the gun and didn't even have the balls to shoot the guy. The guy ended up going up the bridge, getting another gun and shooting him. You know, I don't know what else to call it sometimes. But man, it's so disheartening that y'all don't. It seems like y'all just don't like anything law enforcement does, because if it was Detroit there and he know his kids in his neighborhood, he hear AK going off, because we know it's an AK, you can hear the difference. He runs to it. He stopped, and then let's add that they said that he fired 3 shots at them. That's on the news. Fires 3 shots at you and they told him to put the gun down 3 times. So let's add all the context. So he knew that they was telling him to put it down. He didn't, and now here we are again trying to demonize the police officers for doing something that should be deemed as heroic. But
all right, skip the line, Lee. Thank you. Go ahead, Detroit.
What's it at?
It was you. I believe you wanted to address Edom man, but you got skipped. But go ahead, Detroit. I know Omni wanted to talk about it, and then we could bring Brownsville in it right after that.
I got to go in 5. But
all right.
Boy can't get out.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, estrogen. I think your estrogen building up. I mean, yeah, your microphone.
Hey, you gotta skip him. Omni.
Yeah, I got 5 minutes ago, so I'll just make it quick.
Oh, there he got it.
You got it.
No, he don't have it. Look at him. He's sideways. Oh yeah.
Okay, that's my go. So all I'm going to say is that in most places, it's not a civil infraction. It is definitely either a misdemeanor or a felony charge for celebratory gunfire, which means it is definitely a crime and definitely requires law enforcement intervention. But I got a meeting, so I got to jet. Y'all have a good one, fellas.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming to our show today. We appreciate you, Omni.
Go ahead, Brownsville.
Awesome.
So to speak on that specific incident, right? According to the report, he was off duty inside his apartment where he was living at. He heard gunfire. According to his words, the gunfire kept getting closer to his apartment. So he puts on his gear. He goes out to investigate. obviously he's going to be armed. He's a federal law enforcement officer. He said he approached the individual and gave him verbal commands to put the weapon down. He said what happens next is, instead of the gentleman putting the weapon down, he pointed the weapon at him, which is then when he engaged with deadly force. Now, you can say, Detroit, well, I don't believe the officer's account. And that could be a fair assessment, right? We haven't seen the video, so we can't confirm what he said, right? But just according to what he said, any reasonable person would have responded exactly that way if what he says is true. Peace and love.
Can I have one point of clarity? Did he have on his uniform? And I yield. Did he? When you say he put on his gear, do you mean his uniform along with his belt, his gun belt and all that?
He said he put on his gear,
ICE uniform,
and he identified himself as a federal agent.
Okay, thank you.
And he said once he identified himself, he gave him a verbal command to
Three
put
times.
the weapon down.
They say that he fired at the officer 3 times. So
Hold on, let guy Detroit.
okay, that's the officer's account, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then there's gonna be witnesses account too, right?
If there were any present, yes.
If there were any witnesses, which according to them, that like he was with family, or at least whatever. We could say it was New Year's night, so everybody might have been around somebody. Let's just say that, right?
Some assumptions.
So, okay, let's assume he was by himself, and now you assume that the officer was. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying not to respond to it, but so we're going to put all this, like I said, the burden of proof on the victim, right, and none on the officer. I get it. That's kind of what y'all. That's what I hear. And it's okay. I mean, if that's what you feel, look, listen, man, like I just know that there was no toxicology done on that officer at the time of the shooting, which is usually something that would be done when you have a discharge and somebody was off duty. It was New Year's Eve night, so I'm assuming that everybody had some kind of toast, some kind of way going on. So these are all the things that we don't add in, but we know that somebody's dead, and the burden of proof, I know in court, is going to come down to, he's presumed innocent until proven guilty. So that's one thing. I don't know how this is going to go in court, but I know that if law enforcement, actual jurisdiction, jurisstated law enforcement has showed up, I can't say that this would have been the outcome.
But you don't know for sure, right? So that
none of us do, right?
Right, but what I'm saying is you're making assumptions right now, right? And what I'm telling you is the officer who was there submitted a report, and that's what he said, right? So if he said this is what happens, then any reasonable person is going to believe that until they're shown evidence to suggest something else happened.
Right, and I guess that kind of reasonable person, I guess maybe I'm not that reasonable person then, but I'm in a city where I've seen police officers report one thing and then investigations come out and say another.
I got 2 questions. Yeah, no, you're right. I got 2 questions though. Do you believe, Detroit, in the phrase play stupid games, win stupid prizes?
Yeah, is this the same dude who just got all these cracks about my body? Is asking me this shit? Same dude who went over there and started lifting weight just a second ago to show he was strong?
Are you emotional? That's cool. If you're emotional, and you smoking weed. Look, you were making jokes about me smoking and you smoking. Don't get emotional. Don't get emotional. It's okay. You are fat. That's okay. It's okay to be fat.
I'm not in my 20s. I can't be emotional no more, dog. I'm
37. What you saying?
Hold on. Let's
But I do want to talk about the topic.
Hold on. Let's
I just wanted to ask you 2 questions.
Please, let's be.
Are you gonna answer the question?
Sean, can I do a follow-up with Ground Show next?
Get in front of my big mic. Do you believe in the phrase play stupid games, win stupid prizes?
As a model for life?
Just do you believe in the phrase? That's it.
It's a colloquial phrase. What do you mean? Do I believe in? Do I believe it is said?
I mean,
believe that people say it? Do I live my life by it? What you saying?
I'm saying okay, and I see what Sharon. Okay, right.
I mean, just
so
you
I'm
asking a very
no. I'm learning that I shouldn't just throw things out as a better way to go about it. So I'm trying to figure you out, right? So what I mean is, do you believe that if people do stupid things, bad things will happen to them? So what I mean is, like, if a kid wants to, or a man wants to rob liquor stores, eventually something bad will happen. Do you believe in that mentality?
For the sake of continuing this, yes.
Okay, so in a situation where you're shooting a gun in the air, right? Usually, me and you could probably agree that a gun should be used for self-defense purposes, correct? Not celebratory purposes, unless you're inside of a gun range and you're doing it safely, because we all understand that bullets take lives, correct?
Okay.
Okay. So is it so far-fetched to think that you hear guys shooting outside? He's not a gun range, right? Outside is not meant for shooting. Period. It's not, unless something crazy is happening, right? So he's playing a stupid game. He's shooting into the air. Somebody said bullets, gravity. The bullets come back down. They can hit people, brother. I just don't understand. Like, okay, so are you saying? All right, so I'm landing here. If this was your community, would you want this happening? And then I'll land it there, and you can finish talking with whatever the conversation. I just wanted you to answer that.
Yeah. At no point have I said that I thought it was righteous for this man to be out here shooting celebratory fire, for the Fourth of July, or for New Year's. No, that's not what I've said. Why it's being stretched to that intent is because that would more align with I'm some kind of just, don't believe in any kind of law and order type of person. What I'm saying is even law and order, right, needs to follow law and order. And when you have law enforcement officers who don't follow law and order, then you get a whole bunch of bullshit, and then you'll get some you'll try and validate that what he might have been doing was heroic, or some kind of, he was doing something, above and beyond the line of duty, just trying to make, and that has been the play for a long time. What I'm saying is, even in my city, and I'm sure most major cities, I don't know about most major cities, let me not say that, because but even here in Detroit, we got Shot Spotter now. So I think a lot of that celebratory shooting, a lot of these dudes don't be doing it as much now. But even so, I don't remember the response of law enforcement being that the person who was shooting those shots ended up dead. Like that's crazy to me that is like.
But
good segue.
But right there,
that's a good segue.
I mean,
that's a good segue.
Yeah, but
I need to ask Brown,
he kind of like torches everything, because he says that you take away all the nuance, right? Remember what we said. We said that he told him, he identified himself as an officer. He told him to put the gun down. It wasn't just you're firing in the air, you're shot dead. That's how you kind of making it seem. And when you make it seem like that, that is wrong, what you're talking about. But that's not
what I'm saying is we have one side of the story from the officer, right? Okay. And it's going to be harder to prove the other side correctly, because the gentleman has passed away, right? It's not like he got wounded and can testify, right? So we, as even if you were a juror, like, we have to take this into account that there's more than just the one side to it. And I get it. I have no problem with law enforcement. Hold on,
that's not true. If you ever sat on a jury, you can't make up you can't make up a story on the jury of the other side.
What are you talking about, man? What are we
oh my God. Y'all have never.
Let me respond to something Detroit said real quick, because I heard him say this 3 times and it's just totally incorrect. Detroit. So the young man who lost his life tragically in California, he did not lose his life because he was engaging in celebratory fire. According to the report, the reason why he lost his life is because he pointed a deadly weapon at the federal agent, right? Now, if we find out that nuance is incorrect and the officer lied, right, that's where you can make your argument. But to make your argument now is dangerous and it's very, very premature, right? Because basically you're under the assumption that the
No.
federal agent is lying, right? And he just took this guy out and lied on his report.
That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
Brown
is,
shit.
listen, and I'll say it one more time. That man did not have jurisdiction. He did not have jurisdiction for the crime that was being committed. He was supposed to contact law enforcement.
Brother,
He was
a
not
That's not.
civilian
That's
This
not
is-
true. And
this is-
here's the thing.
Y'all want to
That's
put
not
this
true.
above and beyond
Detroit.
scenario and shit like that. That man was supposed to notify police. Police did not get notified until after he shot that man dead.
But that is not
I'll
true.
just.
What
I'm
you
trying to
just
kick.
said, Detroit.
I know.
Hold on, eat a man.
We know it's not true. He didn't lie three
What
times.
you just said, Detroit,
I
is
am not a
true.
fucking liar. No, don't call me no fucking liar, you soft ass, punk ass, pussy ass motherfucker. I am not no fucking liar. I don't care about none of this other shit that y'all be talking about online.
Now he
I'm not
want to
no
fight.
fucking liar. I just told you flat out facts. You have presented no facts, and they're gonna sit up here and call me a liar while you sitting there saying absolutely
Gonna do
nothing.
that 20 push-ups?
Just being contrarian than a motherfucker.
Okay.
Nah,
Right?
fine.
None.
So let's
Browns-
calm the
So
emotions
why don't you
down real
Brownsville.
refute
quick, because we're
my
engaging in
statements
a
instead of calling me a
conversation,
fucking liar?
right? We're
Huh?
engaged in a
How about that?
conversation.
Well, I'm still gonna respond just because he in his emotions. I mean, I'm not gonna respond. Listen.
Right, but if you call me a liar, you are fucking all
He
those things I
definitely
said.
lied. Like this idea, he keep
Once
talking about.
again, you know what I'm saying? So once again,
So he's
Sharon,
talking about
I'm
this
not gonna like this
jurisdiction,
shit.
right?
This is it.
Let him do it,
Everybody else
Detroit.
on
Let
this,
him do it.
everybody else on this panel has a. We assume y'all are being factual with us, but now all of a sudden I say something that don't add up with what you believe in. I'm lying. I'm lying.
Okay.
Go look it up. You ain't looked up none of this case and said nothing about this case at all, except for bullets in the air come down, don't they? Like, and you go sit here and call me a liar?
All right, now you in your feelings. So
God damn it.
the whole point,
Yeah, you
the whole,
calling me
hold
a
on,
motherfucking
Shadow.
liar, nigga. Like, what the
So
fuck that
first of
mean?
all, what you lied about, let me tell you what you lied about is jurisdiction, right? This idea that
these
idea
tuning ass
that
niggas, boy.
a civilian,
boy, these caking ass niggas. Boy,
well, that
these
nigga in his
boy, these
feelings, boy.
Lambos,
Listen,
boy, they be
I
out here
told you,
like
I
crazy,
don't know why I
bro.
bring the whole out of
They
these
be
dudes.
out
Like,
here, bro. 'Cause that's all. That's what it's. It's the energy, dog.
listen, that nigga got that hole
My
in him, bro.
grandparents and my ancestors taught me well to spot out them circles around the eyes of
He's
a coon when
triggered.
they start talking and shit. It
So,
does.
so listen, I done
Yeah.
been on these panels for
Mm.
literally what 2-3 weeks with Detroit. And he done,
And now you a specialist in liars now, right?
listen, he done
Prove me
shot
wrong.
after
Bring the
shot
facts
after
of what I
shot.
said.
And
What did I lie
now
about?
I'm about to tell you, but you so triggered you can't even let me respond.
Let me get back to the conversation, please.
Okay.
Let's get back to the conversation.
All right. So
Thank you,
this
sure.
idea that I need jurisdiction outside of my house is crazy. I'm just telling you, as a civilian, Otis, you have the right to investigate what's going on, especially if you feel like gunshots are getting closer to your domain. So he keep throwing this quote unquote, hey, he had to have jurisdictions to go in and investigate what's going on by his house is crazy. I'm telling you, Otis, it is a crazy statement to keep saying, well, I can't do anything if I'm outside of my jurisdiction. And I know you as a sovereign citizen know that you got the right to protect yourself in your domain. Listen, I know, Otis, the reason, Otis, I know you think this is crazy is because I know you done studied the law, Otis, and you done studied it. Hold on,
Imminent threat,
brother.
God
And
damn
the
it.
crazy part about it, hold on.
Right?
Listen, we done
All
heard
of
so
that is
much saying,
bullshit.
Hold on, Kate the goat said, was it any bullets by him? Was it any bullets by the officer, right?
You
And now
literally
he's
said he
saying,
shot at him.
hold on, listen.
He didn't shoot at him. Even his report said he didn't.
Listen, so I'm telling you, let me ask Otis this question, and I'm about to leave anyways. Otis, if somebody shoot an point an AK-47 with you, let's say he did not shoot that gun, do I have the right to defend myself as a citizen of the United States? As a United States.
Yes.
Otis. Okay, but he didn't have jurisdiction. You hear the jurisdiction argument is BS, bro. But I appreciate y'all having. I like that I got Detroit out of his feelings, boy. Ooh, that we like to see that side of the man.
Relax, Detroit. Don't
What
fall
coons
for it.
usually want to do.
Detroit,
They
don't
want to get
fall
a
for
rise
it.
out of people.
Detroit,
They don't want to
don't
come
fall
to a
for it.
common
Look at I
ground.
got him leaning into the
They just want
camera.
to get.
Listen,
They just want to
listen.
get. They just want to get a
Hey,
rise out of
ever
people.
since
Yep.
Detroit, listen,
Somehow
Sharon.
they think they're gonna get some kind of
Sharon,
biscuit for it,
listen,
Come
right?
on,
and
man.
listen.
That's what they think,
Ever
right?
since,
That's what they
listen,
Sharon.
listen.
Yeah, them sandboys be
Listen,
thinking they gonna get a biscuit
Sharon,
some kind of
the
way, tap
crazy
dancing
good
and shit.
the
Listen,
good thing about
Yep.
this, Sharon, listen,
Yep.
Sharon, when we
That's
first
why
met
Anton and y'all fit,
Detroit,
because it's like
he
a
had a
pack of what do you call a
job,
pack of
he
coons.
was working. Yeah, you can drop me. Chicago, yeah, drop me $50. Hey, listen.
Oh man.
Hey, Sharon, he had a job.
Chicago
He was a
really, can I drop
hardworking
you a
man. You remember he
man?
had a
Don't
tie
drop
when
him,
he
dog.
first came
He
up
already
here?
dropping himself with this
And then
crazy.
and then Sharon, he had that tie on, and he been in the car since. He had listen, I'm telling you, he been to work since he came up here. We done tricked this man out of his job. That man on vacation to talk to us online, man.
all
All
right,
right, Detroit. I
now,
feel it. Go ahead,
I
Otis.
appreciate it.
Hey, Anton.
I would like to address.
He called me Anton. He called me a millionaire. Oh,
Uh,
that's cool.
I would like to address.
Yeah, biscuit chasing.
Detroit, will you stop falling forward, please? Come on, let's have a
I'm
conversation.
sorry, dog. I'm
I would like
sorry.
to
I
address.
apologize.
I would
do
like to
apologize.
address individuals who have the thought process of yourself and KT. For real conversation. One, it's hard for me to have conversations like this with individuals like you, with all due respect. That's why I'd just rather just drink and smoke with you. I see you partake in the smoking as well, because people like yourselves always negate the first criminal act. We always reflect, you guys always reflect on the second part, the what if, they effed around and found out part. What about the first part when, again, not to allegedly firing celebratory shots in the air? Yes, a lot of people do it. It's against the law, but a lot of people do it. So with that being said, acknowledge that was against the law. Now, the odds of a police officer, hear me out, the odds of a police officer or any officer in a uniform. Let's get that part straight. Any officer in a uniform. It's dark outside. I don't know what uniform it is, but it's a uniform. And he acknowledged himself. So with that being said, any common sense individual would just put the weapon down. You got caught having celebratory shots. It happens. Put the weapon down. If you do anything less than that, you effed around and found out, unfortunately. Let's just keep it real. But the first offense, criminal offense, was shooting celebratory shots in the air, which is a criminal act. Now, do a lot of people do it? Again, yes. And a lot of people get away with it. Unfortunately, he got caught and he took it way too far. So to even address it after that is idiotic to me. Because again, a civilian, even though a lot of civilians don't even act on it, 99.9% of civilians don't act on that, but you do have the right to come out and make a citizen's arrest. A lot of people don't, but it's on the books. It's in every city, every municipality. It's across the board. You have the right to make a citizen's arrest. So don't use that excuse that he didn't have the jurisdiction. You don't need it. A citizen can do it. I land my point.
But when he went and put his gear on, was he still a citizen then, or was he on duty?
I asked you a question. He was on duty and he had the right. He has a uniform. Now,
so wouldn't on duty call the local?
Whether he's on duty with the uniform or not, which it doesn't matter. So now you're about to do what you always do, which destroys the conversation. It doesn't matter if he has on a uniform or not. He has the right to go into that situation and alleviate it, to deviate it, whatever the word I'm trying to say.
That's not true. Your rights change if you're an officer or a civilian. That's why you're a civilian.
This is fucking crazy.
Correct.
Thank you, KT. Jesus Christ.
And look, y'all gotta hold y'all to rest. They are in the box. We will open it back up to where is everybody talk, but let them have their conversation first. And I will definitely get you in there, KT. I'll definitely get you in, Josh. Go ahead, Detroit and Otis, please.
Otis, I don't know if he was finishing now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm done. I mean, I see what I had to say. Go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, so I'll kind of lean in. Maybe I can segue for KT. You know, it is different whether you're a civilian or whether you are on duty, right? If you're a civilian, in most cases, those things are like it happened upon you. not you went out here into it. And I understand his statement was saying that the shots sounded like they were coming closer and closer to his domicile, right? That's what he was saying. It sounded like it's an apartment complex. And you know, I don't know where it was, but it sounded like from what you're saying, he said like he felt like the shots were getting closer, right? Right. So was he once again on duty where he was already in his official capacity, or did he have the time to go and put on his uniform and then go out there? If he was out there walking around and this guy was out here shooting up shots, he's a civilian. That interaction would be different. You know, I'm still going to be critical of the people living more than I am the people that are dead, because the people that are living actually have the ability to speak and talk about what actually happened, right?
Okay. Yeah. What part of what I said you didn't understand? You outside. Let's use you. You're outside. You're letting your weapon go. Pew, pew, pew. Me, myself, whether I'm an ICE agent or a police officer, I get out my bed, put on my gear, as Brownsville said, and I come outside.
Without calling the police, right?
Then I give you the demand to drop the weapon or whatever I said, and you don't, and you found out. Now, that same
and once again.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Hear me out. The same situation. Let's switch it up. I heard gunshots. You outside shooting. I'm not an officer. I'm nothing. I'm just a civilian. I get out my bed. I go get my little 9. No other gear, just my 9. No police officer uniform, no nothing. I'm in my pajamas. I go outside and I see you. Sir, put the weapon down. Put the weapon down. If you draw on me, I'm shooting your ass, allegedly. What's the difference?
Actually,
whether I'm a civilian or on duty. Because if you're saying just because he's an ICE agent, he put on that uniform don't mean nothing, then that's a crazy conversation. I don't even want to talk to you anymore. Please tell me you're not saying that, because the authority uniform is an authoritative uniform. They have the right to carry. They have the right to make arrests. So if you're saying that it's not true, then I don't want to talk to you anymore. You're not saying that, are you?
That is not what I'm saying. And that is not what this event, listen to me, that's not what this event played out to be, though, either.
Yes,
so
it
don't
did.
conflate the two.
That's the whole point.
You're missing a step in those two. I'll give it to you.
Mute.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother.
Everything you saying is not relevant in court, and they would throw that shit out. Everything you saying is after the fact. That's irrelevant.
You are missing a.
Was what?
Hold on, dog. Listen. Okay, go ahead. Finish everything you got to say, man. But I thought we were just. Okay, I mean, okay. You missing a part out of both of those analogies that you just gave, which was somebody's in their house and comes outside to address some gun shooting that's going on. You gave the scenario of a civilian inside, saw what's going on outside, go outside with their 9, or an officer saw what's going on and go outside with their gear. And I'm saying either one of them, right, going and putting themselves out there is going against what the law actually tells you you're supposed to be doing. He wasn't in an imminent threat. He put himself in an imminent threat when he went out there. And then whatever happens from there, that's the part that we don't know. But I know that officer did not call or contact. Once again, I got called a liar on here. So I'm not going to sit here and try and prove that I'm telling the truth. Somebody prove that I'm lying about
you're doing it right now. You're doing it right now. Hold my breath.
I'm lying.
You're doing it right now. You're being disingenuous. Did you hear me? Not just say
disingenuous.
Rest. You can make a citizen.
How am I being disingenuous, dog? I'm going off of your analogies that you gave, and I ain't even finished with that either.
Rest. You making a statement that I came out my house is irrelevant. That's why he talking to people like you.
It's not irrelevant in court. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not irrelevant in court, and it shouldn't be irrelevant in this conversation, dog. It shouldn't be.
Sis, I have the right to make a citizen's arrest. Again, for the record, 99% of people who don't utilize it, they don't, but they have the right to.
Detroit, may I get in for a little bit? Can I point this out real quick? Civilian arrest doesn't give you the legality to kill somebody. So even when you're saying like, no, hear me out, Otis, hear me out.
You an idiot.
You're saying because you can make a citizen arrest.
I'm telling you, talking to them, you're gonna go crazy.
You're a straight contrarian. You and this dude.
You have the right to.
I'm a contrarian because I'm asking you to answer a question. Jesus, that's what I'm saying. Y'all throw a lot of things and y'all just don't. Y'all throw these to not answer the question. So I'm gonna ask again, Otis. Is it legal for you to kill people because you can make a citizen's arrest?
You're the worst contrarian. You say it was the first thing to come to your damn mind. That's not educated.
But you're not answering the question.
Oh, that's what they call Otis contrarians. Good to know. Okay,
so
I'm gonna look that up.
somebody answer the question.
Always contrary to some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how it's contrary to ask a question, but nobody's answering the question because I'm being factual. The facts are you're not permitted. Are you now? Because you can make citizens arrest. Does that give you the legality to kill people?
I answer the question, yes, if they draw on you, or if I feel, or if that citizen. Let me answer the question clearly. Let me know my tone. You have the right to defend yourself if you're making a citizen's arrest. If the citizen is telling the person to put down his or her weapon, and that citizen who has the weapons turn around aggressively with the weapon pointed at them, you have the right to shoot. So I'm answering your question, period.
You're not legally covered by murder, right? That's all I'm asking. Can you murder this person?
No,
you can say it's an act of self-defense, but you're not given legality to now shoot people.
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
You see what I'm talking about? You hear this?
It's wrong. California Penal Code pulled up here too. So
Hold on. So, KT, you saying that if somebody was walking down the street, see a man shooting a gun, he said, "Hey, put down your gun." The guy turns around and points the gun at this man, and he shoots this man dead. They are going to call that murder? That's my first question.
He'll be arrested for some kind of he killed somebody. Self-defense. Even if you want to say self-defense, what is self-defense for murder?
So he would not call it. So they would not arrest him for murder, right?
No, they might. At best case, they'll arrest him for self-defense. That's what I'm saying. If that's y'all argument, y'all sticking to it.
So if that is the case, you shouldn't add it into this scenario. It's
the one who brought it up. I ain't added in.
You are added it in when you are not paying attention to the whole overarching conversation. He said, as a citizen, you have a right to arrest another citizen, right? So if he is a law enforcement and he announced himself as law enforcement, and then this man is a threat with a deadly weapon, a firearm, an automatic firearm, you are now saying that federal agent doesn't have a right to protect himself?
That's what the fuck, Jesus Lord. We're going to say this. Please don't tell me what you think you said or what you got. Just repeat what I said. Just repeat what I said here, bro. He tried to bring up citizen arrest as if that citizens can legally just kill people. That's not the same. You have a different amount of jurisdiction as an officer, correct? Because that federal agent, he is under federal sight, so he doesn't really have to answer for that murder, does he?
I'm not understanding.
Should be in certain rooms.
Okay, hold on.
So it's a difference in what you can do as an agent from a civilian, right?
Okay, so then again, the reason why. Do you understand why he brought it up?
Jesus, do you understand what why I brought it up? I'm pointing out it's difference between, he said, a civilian and an officer has the same thing. They're different.
A civilian and a citizen. So now, why did he bring it up?
No, a civilian and an officer, an agent. Right. They have different.
A civilian and an officer. So, okay, is it different between those two? Why did he bring it up?
Because he literally was trying to say civilians can do this. Why don't you think an agent can do this?
Do what?
Just citizens arrest, and then he led into
shoot somebody if they felt that. Okay, so now why? And what was the comparison? He's saying, so now if a regular civilian can arrest a human being, what makes you think a law officer that announces himself with somebody with a deadly weapon, points it at him, doesn't have the right to use deadly force against that person?
So that now we can move a little bit. I'm gonna progress a little bit for you, okay? Now, this is the main problem with that. You're just accepting his word as fact. That's what all of y'all are not acknowledging. You're saying because he said this is what happened.
Slow down. We did acknowledge that. That's the only thing we have to go on at the time. And Brownsville even brought up, if the information comes out, we get different evidence, and then that's what we'll have to change our assessment of the situation. And
no. The it can be no implication without facts. We cannot sit there and say because this officer said it, that's the facts until it's proven different. That again, that's what Detroit was pointing out. Like it's not y'all literally making it about because the cop said this is what happened. That's the main thing. We don't even have the evidence that what the cop said was true.
Okay, that is fine.
So the only way y'all can make that argument is if y'all accepting that as fact.
Hold on, but that is what we are basing the argument on. If you're basing your argument that you are not 100% sure because you do not trust law enforcement, that is fine. But when
it's that we don't have no evidence.
Okay, I'm giving you that. But when we are going with the conversation and we dealing about what we have, we can only have a discussion on the things that we have in front of us and discuss it that way. We cannot add in what ifs into a conversation about something that factually what we have.
No, we don't factually. Where is there video of anything? That's what I'm saying. Oh, somebody's saying something is not facts. It's not a fact.
Actually, hold on. No, actually, it is a fact that he said that. The officer said this is a fact.
Yeah, the facts that it actually was there. That's not true. We don't know what happened there in this situation,
fine.
Period.
That is fine.
I could tell you right now I got $40 billion.
Okay, so
that don't make it a fact.
However, we are having a conversation on the facts that we have available now.
No, we don't.
That is what's what I'm saying.
The opinion is not a fact, Sharon.
What I'm trying to get you to understand, we do not have this what if available. You are saying what if.
That's literally what you're saying. Y'all even started with when he was shooting in the sky. That could hurt people. That's a literal what if. Nobody was hurt from the bullets.
Not that physics.
Oh, shit,
Jesus. Hold on, please. That is not a what if. This is crazy. That is not a what if. I'm talking about what we have in front of us. You talking about we don't know if it's true, and I get it. You have it.
All right, so explain any of this to me without using anything the officer said. Go.
And then once I do that, I'm not using any facts.
No, the officer's statement is not facts. That's the point. Jesus Lord.
Right. So what I'm saying, the fact. Here's the fact. You were talking about what's true, right? So what is true? We don't know the full truth of the situation. The fact is we have what the officer gave us. The facts is what we have. The truth of the situation, we need whatever on the other side as well, so to make it understandable. But that is a fact regardless.
His statement.
Hold on.
Yes, his statement is a fact.
If that's the case, then aren't the witness statements facts too?
Yes. No, not in federal court.
Okay,
hold on.
No. We're talking about federal court.
Hold on. Whatever that person says, that is that person facts. Yes. If we say, hey,
that's not
this
fact,
person,
though,
hold on, so we can have an understanding of what we say instead of trying to be dumb. I'm getting tired of y'all keep trying to make everything literal instead of acting like we do not have an understanding.
Nigga, that's how you don't be dumb.
Of the conversation.
Think before you speak.
So again, he is saying that if somebody else have opposite facts, whoever witnessed it, they have opposite facts. Yes, that'll be a fact. So we had to put those facts.
No, it's not. What the fuck are we doing here?
Why you keep interrupting him, man?
Nigga, because if you say you got 40 billion and I say you don't, that's what the fuck.
Don't do that, KT. Let's
hold on. Let me get this right. Detroit, you see something and you say this is a fact of the matter. I see, so I say this is the fact of the matter. Those two things ain't facts, and then now we can argue those two things to find out which one is true. Okay,
that is correct.
So what? Okay, so now we are all on the same playing field, right? We have the facts. We have the facts what the cop said, and then we want to have facts of what what the witnesses say, and then now that could go in front of a judge, and then now we can find out what's the truth. Correct? That's how this shit works.
That's correct.
Okay,
but I just have to point out.
I don't understand why we're having this contrarian spirit. Like we don't understand.
It's not contrarian. At no point has anybody talked about the witness of the other side. It has always been, as soon as the officer's statement came out, that was the fact that we running with. That's what. That's my point.
Okay,
that's my point.
Okay, so have you RKT have gave us what the other people said? Yes or no?
His mother,
family. Either one of you said
no.
What the?
You know what? No.
Okay. All right.
Because you were arguing right now.
So instead of fucking crying and saying we don't know, Tell us your version of the facts.
Okay, his mother and family said he didn't point no gun at them.
Hold on, because y'all keep saying what if. We gave y'all what we got. Y'all didn't give us what y'all have. Stop saying
you're talking about the what if.
Because you didn't present it yet.
Sharon, you literally stating that the only proof you have is what somebody.
This man, please.
I got you. Okay, I got you. So, even with the case with Renee Good, let me say this. When I see the officer doing things that are outside of SOP or outside of just kind of like what we like, just normal stuff, just like what I feel about the officer not calling the police, I'm going to have my stance on that because I do hold them to a higher standard. But as far as what the witnesses said, yeah, they said that there was never an exchange of gunfire. This is family and witnesses that were around there. I'm pulling it up. I'm sorry, y'all. Just had it up. There was no exchange of gunfire, right? That's what the witnesses are saying. Witnesses are saying that he never stated that he was law enforcement to the gentleman. Okay. And the celebratory gunfire part, I'm not like riding on that because I like, once again, he was committing a crime when he did that. But as far as what led to his death, right? The witnesses are saying something different. So now you got witnesses' statement, you got his statement. Both are conflicting. That stuff gets handled in court. But what I do know is that if he didn't call the police first, the officer who ended up shooting this guy, he was already stepping a little sideways to begin with. I'm critical of that. And if you can't be critical of that, just whatever. But I mean, that's the fact.
Okay. Okay. So let me also hear KT to go. Let me hear your what is your opposition of what happened at that night? What's your proof of that?
Same thing you said. I'll just point out the family and the mother in specific and family. They've came out with reports saying that most of this stuff that they're saying is from the police side of the report is not things that they witnessed at all.
Okay. I don't know why that is such a difficult thing to just bring up the opposition of what the other person brought up. Shout out to H Double. Can see you with the $5. He has been lied to and believed it. The left has been made refarded. I like how you did that there. If you threaten someone, you're going down, especially if I'm a Fed agent. Duh. I like how you put it retarded. They won't allow you to put the other word. The ghetto so chill, KT. I get what you're saying, bro. But Sharon is fight as far as dissecting the information given. It is factually said from the person. Thank you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Because I can factually make a statement. Like I can say a statement, right? And it's facts that I said the statement. It's the fact that y'all are saying because he made the statement, these are the facts. That's all I'm pointing out, y'all.
It's hard to have a conversation with you because that whole statement you just made is irrelevant to the conversation. We're only going off statements.
Right.
We're only let me lower my tone so it can sink into you. We're only going off the statements that the officer made. Right. That's how this whole conversation is being based off of. Now, if something come up after the fact, then we can have that conversation. But as of now, the statement is what we have to go off of by the officer, which is going to be used in court as the truth. Period. And that's all we're going on.
And my mistake was
irrelevant. You use that to derail the conversation. That's why we call you a contrarian, because you pick certain areas, certain nitpicky things, and you go down their rabbit hole, and it stalls the conversation. And I hope you realize that.
So let me clear something up, cuz.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so neither witness statements are considered facts, right? The officer's statement isn't a fact, nor are the witness statements facts, right? What it is evidence. Now, those of you who understand law and law enforcement, you understand that law enforcement officers are considered expert witnesses, right? So their statements are generally given more weight than any other statements, right? That's number one. Number two, when you guys keep saying this is going to be ironed out in court, that's not necessarily true, because the process is this. There's a subsequent investigation going on, one by the FBI, the other by the state of California, right? They're going to collect evidence and they're going to give their opinion on the evidence that's collected, right? And then it's going to go to a federal prosecutor who's going to decide whether or not he's going to convene a grand jury, right? So that's the process. There's no evidence to suggest that it's going to even end up in court. It may not, depending on the evidence. And what I'm interested in more than anything is if that apartment complex had video cameras, right? Because if it did, and if it determines that the officer is correct, his account is correct, then it's not even going to get that far. If the officer gave him a command and said, hey, put the weapon down, and then he refused, and instead he pointed that weapon at that officer, then that officer's use of deadly force is justified, and that's it. There's no more discussion to be had. Peace and love.
All right, let me also read this. Joe Ski 757 with the $2 says, great convo. Lead statement will be used as fact for court. Thank you so much, Joski. I appreciate that. And thank you, HW. Can see you. Thank you so much as well, just in case you missed me reading your super chat. Thank you so much. Go ahead. Detroit.
Wait, can I finally address Brownsville, please?
Yes, because you've been trying to get it. Yes, go ahead.
Brownsville, question. Is federal jurisdiction the entire United States?
That's correct.
Okay, and if an officer is off duty, can they still, within their right, still engage in official duties, even if off duty, if a situation arises, i.e. imminent threat?
Yes, absolutely.
So if somebody's firing a gun off in public and an off-duty officer is present, he can then change into an on-duty officer in order to stop the imminent threat, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, let me shout out to the Ghetto Stoic, becoming a solution-based gangster. Yeah, all like how HT Ball 1 said. HT Ball 1 is through with me today. He is so through with me. It ain't even funny. And Renee, don't you be laughing. Renee.
Can I ask Brownsville a question real quick?
I want to Detroit. I don't know. I think Detroit, you want to jump? Let's go, Detroit. Detroit, Lee, KT, Otis.
Okay, so I just want to ask because it sounds like Brownsville legally knows what he's talking about. So, according to the California Penal Code, Section 837, is it implied, recommended, or policy that they are to call 911 to have the trained officers or officers who are in their jurisdiction to come in a case for citizens arrest?
It's required.
So if it was a citizen's arrest, it was required he call 911 before he engaged, correct?
Yes, but he's not a regular citizen.
Was he off duty at the time?
He was.
Okay. And is that different than off-duty officer and a citizen?
Yes, because
legally,
as Shadow articulated, right? There was an imminent threat that he was responding to, right? So therefore, he goes from a regular citizen to a federal officer to stop an imminent threat, right? That was his reasonable suspicion. His reasonable suspicion in his head was, I'm hearing these gunshots and they're getting closer to my apartment. So he can, in his mind, he could have been thinking, hey, they're coming to get me, right? He doesn't know. He's going to investigate, and he has a duty to investigate at that point.
Okay.
Just to patch up a loophole, what if you as an officer heard gunshots moving towards you, even if not in your direction, but you can clearly hear gunshots moving? Would you as an officer engaged in that situation due to public safety and risk?
It depends, right? It depends if the circumstances, depends on where I'm at, and it depends if I'm prepared, right? So it's a lot of circumstances that has to be, processed through in
So
order.
I'm sorry.
But
Would you be able to engage?
in that situation, that particular situation, I think any law enforcement officer would respond to that, right? To where you're in your home, your domicile, and outside of your home, you're hearing gunshots, and it's sounding like the gunshots are getting closer to you. Then yes, every officer in the United States would respond to that threat.
I like it. Go ahead. You have one more question, Detroit, before I pass it to Lee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one more question real quick. So then would that person, whoever it is, be responsible for informing the suspect of their intentions coming out there?
Well, yeah. So the duty is to identify yourself, right? And then give verbal commands based upon what you see, right? Now his report, he said he did that. He said he identified himself and he gave verbal commands, which the gentleman did not follow, right? So he did not have the authority to use deadly force immediately, right? He had the authority to investigate, right? And upon his investigation, he determined there was a threat, a guy with a deadly weapon, right? He gave verbal commands, and instead of the guy complying, he turned the weapon to him in an aggressive manner, which authorized the use of deadly force at that time. That's according to his report. Now, if we get more evidence, such as video, that comes in to suggest something else entirely happened, that's when your argument has substantiation.
And I guess where my stance is on this and where my mind is ticking with this is that when we were saying facts, I guess we really were saying it as a just a colloquial for like what we know so far. So with what we know so far, we have his side and we have the witness side. So the witness side is saying that he didn't audibly give instructions to the to who he perceived as a suspect. So those two kind of would, to me, right now, wash each other away because we don't know until we have maybe video evidence. If that's correct, then once again, obviously the crime is for sure shooting the gun off in public. But does that crime then wash away the culpability of the officer to reach out to 911 before he engaged with who he perceived as a suspect?
So no. So like I said, the greater weight is gonna be given to the officer's account, right? So regardless of the other witnesses giving statements, the greater weight of who you're gonna believe is gonna be on the officer, right? Which is why it goes from the officer's statement, and now we have to corroborate the officer's statement either by video, right? And if we don't have the video, and then you got 100 witnesses, all unrelated, giving a different account, now they're going to go in with forensics and all types of different ways to analyze the scene and interview all of the witnesses, right, to determine the totality of the circumstances, what exactly happened, when it happened, right? But as of right now, from the information we know so far, we have to give the greater weight to the officer until we see something to the contrary, which disproves or discredits his statement or report that he submitted.
Awesome. All right, so we got Lee, KT the GOAT, OtisWho. Uda, you let me know. You jump in whenever you feel. So it's Lee, KT, OtisWho.
Yeah, man. I just think we're kind of just going around in circles. Two different point of views, I feel like they're going to stick to their side of feeling like the officer must be lying or, giving a false account. So, and then there's our side where we have some belief in what the officer is saying. We understand that he didn't just go out there for no reason, and we want our communities protected. So, I guess my question would be to the people that are on the other side is like, if you had an officer in your community and gunfire in a neighborhood is a threat. I mean, we can all understand that. I hope we do. Would you want that officer to do his job, whether he's on or off duty, which is to protect the public?
Great question. KT, you can start with his question and go ahead with your thought.
Oh, could you repeat it again? I apologize. I ain't
You
hear the
just going with your
very.
thought. Either way.
Oh, okay. Well, my thought was just going to say, first of all, I never thought I'd be saying this, but thank you, Brownsville. Because again, that's the only thing I'm pointing out. I don't want y'all thinking I'm getting hung up. Just saying this is evidence. This is, in fact, we shouldn't state it as that. If we're doing so, we're being disingenuous and we're spreading disinformation. You know what I'm saying? Beyond that, my point of contention, if anything, and I'm with Detroit. I'm not debating whether or not what he did was a crime from the beginning. My 2 points of contention is, one, was the outcome justified by the crime? And the second part would be, and I understand that is like exactly what Brownsville said. Police officers are taken as the quote unquote evidence, even if they don't present evidence. We've seen many times for many decades, for plenty of times in this country, where officers are abusing their authority. I am not a person to say, I can't remember who it was, Maya Angelou, somebody said,
my bad.
it's my bad. But not Maya Angelou, I believe she said, if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. The police force in our country has shown us that they will manipulate things to get away with things. Federal agents who have far more, like, less ground for us to even really do anything to them, because remember, these people are outside of, well, technically outside of state jurisdiction. Like, the states can't really do shit. So when we got people who are federally out here, and basically the only person who's really reeling them in or having any type of any oversight over them, who's watching the watchers in this case, would be Trump. I don't feel that us acting like, oh, well, because they were police officers, they're in the right and we should support that. I don't think that helps the things he wants implemented in the future that seems to be taking away more of our freedoms as Americans. I land my plane.
Go ahead, Otis. DB and Shiesty is diabolical.
Unfortunately, these type of conversations are going to always have two sides. I personally, majority of people know my stance and how I feel about law enforcement. I have nothing against them, but my views are, I don't even try my best to even get involved with them. But I have common sense enough to know that if you're outside doing something that you know is illegal from the get-go, you know it's illegal. Yes, a lot of people do it. It's celebratory. It's a tradition, but it's illegal. You know it is. You know in your heart there's a small percentage chance that you're going to get caught. Just a small one. And when an officer rolls up on you, whether he's ICE, whether he's an actual police officer, whether he's the security guard that just got off the shift at McDonald's around the corner, and they give you a lawful order to put the gun down because they're making an arrest until whatever, and you don't do that for whatever reason, you made an aggressive move. Unfortunately, you found out, and a life is gone. Unfortunately. But the first criminal offense that people want to glaze over is that he was shooting celebratory shots. That's where it all started. And I don't understand this. I don't. And I land my plane. It's just crazy to me.
That was awesome. Hey, you got if you got something.
I think we got past that point. We can see that both sides are gonna feel a certain way. You know, if I'm if I'm a witness, then I'm gonna feel a certain way. If I'm the officer, I'm feel a certain way, and then we both are presenting what we witness, right? That's never been my point. I guess this all started, honestly, we were talking about ICE, you know what I mean? But I guess the segue back to all of that in turn, to me, first off, I feel like, if that guy could have been a part of ICE before, but I know for sure there are more people that are involved in ICE now, right? So I think if we didn't have this ramped up thing with ICE the way it is, then this gentleman might still be here, maybe in jail, you know what I'm saying? But probably would still be here, right? Or at least maybe the first officer on the scene would have been maybe state or local officials. But as far as just, this case, I wish I could go back to that feeling that I used to have in this country, that when shit happened with the police, that they were out here just protecting and serving. I wish I could. I had that feeling as a youth. And then the Malice Green case came about in Detroit. And then the Rodney King case in LA come about. And you see where people have used the badge for decades, if not a century, to hide their intentions. Intent means something. It needs to, correct? And I think everybody on this panel agrees that intent has to mean something. So when we have these vagaries, when we're talking about like actual, I don't even know if that's a word, whatever. When we have this vagueness, when we're talking about when we're talking about police activity and everything like that, it just broadens that shield that they were hiding behind a lot of times. So I am more critical. I have family members that are I hate to say, homicide detectives for years and stuff like that. And even, having conversations with them, you see like the burden is on the officer. They hate talking about when officers do shit outside of like certain steps and rules and standard operating practices and shit like that, because it makes it harder for them. You know what I mean? So coming from that angle, I maybe I am going to be more critical of the police, just experiencing some of the stuff that, and it ain't got to be something you experience yourself. I didn't have police fuck with me, but not to that degree. And I ain't been out there in the street shooting either. So it ain't coming my way that way either. But I know that doesn't stop me from learning from some bullshit that might go on in my community. And that goes back to the people that's protesting in Minnesota, because no matter what, it might not involve them, but it's in their fucking community. So I don't even got the thermometer to check the temperature of the citizens of Minnesota, but I could imagine if that shit was going on, and especially with all this snow we got out here and that shit going on too. No, I'm gonna be hot. I'm going to be hot. Now, as a black person, as a black man, niggas, don't get out here and protest right now. This is not our battle to fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling all y'all, just like if you don't see people out here protesting and stuff like that, just know that we've done enough. We done did enough of our protesting. You know what I'm saying? So when you see these white people, it's because they really are afraid of some shit that was promised to them, that was only supposed to happen to other people in this country, and that shit is starting to happen to them. That's my overreaching point for this whole topic. I'm gonna leave now, but Lee, I appreciate your patience in the back of the class. Sometimes you don't be wanting to hear me out and stuff. I see the stirring and shit, but it's okay, man. I got things to drop.
Don't run, though. Right quick before you leave, though. So you're kind of changing your thoughts on all this, doing right? Because now you're saying don't protest. The other day you sound like you was gonna be on the front lines.
No. I've never told no black people since all this shit is going on. Okay, I tell you what, $100 in the chat if you can go back in any of these panels and see where I tell black people to go out here and protest.
No, you're not going to say that. No, you're not going to say that directly. You're not going to say that.
I'm not saying that at all. I just told y'all whatever. Right. I just gave instructions. I just gave instructions for black folks not to get out here.
Right now you're saying that. Now you're saying don't get out here. But when
I never said get out
here. Don't cut him off. Let him finish. Let Chad finish.
Go ahead. Because you know what time it is. When this initially happened, my argument was niggas finna get out there with these white folks and y'all propelling them out there with your support of Renee Good. I said that from day one. And I said, make sure you're out there with them while you was up here defending her. Now look at y'all. Now y'all backing up.
Nope.
It's not. We don't ice this, ice that. Law
Not me.
enforcement. We don't like the police. Everything's changed.
Nope, not me. You ain't heard me say that. You need to talk to some independent Negroes like myself, dog. I have always said that white people are going to have to fix the problem of this country. They're going to have to. You know what I'm saying? Black folks then gave up so much to get to where we are. You know what I'm saying? That, like, honestly, you know what I'm saying? The lives, the dog bites and all that shit. This is of their own making. All that dogma came back and bit them in the ass.
Wow.
All these white folks that didn't think that this shit would come back and hit their neighborhood, and it came back and hit their neighborhoods. So now they are the ones who are getting out here. Now I commend the ones who are getting out here. You know what I'm saying? You finally done, you know, whatever. But it's been plenty of people probably in this country that knew that this country was full of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And that they was gonna have us on some deeded ass mission.
I told you, Sharon.
That's what Trump got. That's what Trump got us on. Some deeded ass mission.
Yeah, you done kind of changed it up, bro. Which I don't have no problem with that, but you've changed it up, bro, from the initial stance. But that's what's happening.
No, he didn't. It was me. I was the only person up here.
Listen, man, first off, y'all ain't never asked me this shit. If y'all had asked me, trust me, I talk long-winded. I had a detailed explanation.
I clarify. So when Goat came up here the first time this situation came up, he said, "So what are you going to tell your people? Because you're giving advice about all these things, but you ain't going to tell your people to go out there and do what this lady done." And that's it. And that's where he's getting that. So KT and Detroit, y'all was on the side of arguing for the young lady, and Goat's whole real premise to the situation.
I'm still on the side of that. Listen, oh my God, listen, y'all are so. I don't know why it's like
you on her side, but don't
can't be finite. No. I don't know why you can't be finite when we talking about this stuff. Okay, I don't recommend no black people going out here and protesting. I don't recommend police shooting a lady in the face in the car. I don't see why, bro. I know we got a lot of Christians, even if you don't believe in religion. And I ain't no church going person, but I got God, man, this shit is crazy to me that people can't understand wrong is wrong is wrong is wrong, no matter which group, subgroup, subcontinent, whatever you want to talk about is doing the shit. It's not, and everything that
the reason why Detroit is because Goat initial points that what she did was wrong, and that is it led up to the situation where she lost her life.
Nothing she did out there warranted her dying,
and that's Goat's problem. That's what he's saying. Now you saying. Okay.
Right, because again, the whole point was you're going to motivate people to protest.
Thank you, KT.
What'd he say?
He said,
"That don't mean tell your people to protest."
Let's deal with that. Let's deal with that. If you're going to tell your people that ICE is wrong, ICE don't have no power, we can't let them do that to us. They're gonna come back and get us one day, and all that shit y'all was saying. I'm saying, why wouldn't you tell your people to protest it if I was that adamant like y'all were pretending to be, then yes, you need to protest it because it's that much of a problem that you were pretending that it was. You were pretending that it was that much. You were pretending that it was that much of a problem. You were pretending.
This administration, listen to me. This administration wants to bring it to black folks the most. That's the part that I think that y'all don't really understand. They would love to bring all that shit into the streets of Detroit, of Chicago, of LA, of New York. You know what I'm saying? Minneapolis is one of these little soft targets because they've been blue for so long, and they ain't they not. I don't know how to put it, but
with all due respect, I've rocks with you. You're not addressing what Pastor just asked you. He asked you a specific question.
That was Taz.
Okay.
I apologize, Taz. I apologize.
I'm about to say, where the hell is Pastor at?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. I mean no disrespect. I apologize.
And I apologize for not answering the question. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
He specifically asked you with the quote unquote, in air quotes, rhetoric you were spewing about ICE this, yada, with the woo. You didn't say go protest, but what other choice or what other option do we have as a people, but not to protest? Address that. And what alternatives would you say if you say not to protest? Go.
Vote and vet your vote correctly Don't just vote off of like what you see online. Go and vet your vote correctly. Some people don't believe in the vote, whatever. And get locked and loaded. You have the right to defend your home. No motherfuckers coming in, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's
You
what
are
I'm on.
hilarious, man.
If you black, like I'm not recommending you get out here and protesting. You protect your own. Do everything that you need to do to protect your own.
But
if you think that protesting does that, I can't stop you from doing it. I wouldn't recommend it. You know what I'm saying? Not against this administration, because they don't believe that any protest is peaceful. They have turned every protest into they have. Go ahead.
Hold on. I want to ask Goat a question. I want to see what's his consensus on this. Did you see the Tim Walz speech that he did? And if you did, do you think he was inciting riots the same way how January 6th with Donald Trump?
No, I haven't seen Tim Walz speak, so I can't speak to it. I wouldn't be surprised though if it was considered that way. But
Okay. That's what I wanted. That's what sparked this whole conversation with the ICE situation. We was going to run it through all the different ICE situations. But I see KT the GOAT. He want to jump in. Go ahead. So KT the GOAT, if you are not advocating for us to be protesting in the street and possibly putting our lives in danger, what is it that you are actually trying to put out there to the world?
No, I was trying to clarify earlier too. I think Taz was kind of mixing up because I did say we should protest. I believe full-heartedly we should. I know people would say sit it out, but it's just as y'all was pointing out. What do we think this is going to lead to? I pointed out plenty of times what it's going to lead to, and I'm in agreement with Detroit. I think the main goal is at the end of the day, get rid of them niggas. I think a big part of that plan is get rid of them niggas, and I believe a lot of the things he's doing is to provoke us and to react in a certain way. Now, I will say I don't know if peaceful protests will work. I'll be very honest with that. And I'm not saying like now let's just get out here and start murking motherfuckers, but I'm saying like maybe some more Black Pantherish. You know what I'm saying? Utilize your gun rights. Because I'm a big proponent. Like my grandparents taught me if you don't use your rights, you lose your rights. And that's what I'm slowly seeing us doing. If we're even if I'm not siding with this white woman, because I want y'all to understand, I'm not siding with this shit with Renee because she's simply a white woman. My point is, if they're doing this to white people, then I don't understand why. Because it's just never been that way in this country. They particularly treat them better than us. I don't understand why, if we see them acting that way towards them, that we think that somehow, even by just avoiding it, it gets better for us.
Yeah, I don't use racism as a fucking joke, right? When white people are running out into the middle of the street and jumping in front of police cars and like putting themselves in the way of law enforcement investigations, nigga, that ain't what we do. That ain't part of our conversation. George Floyd died with a motherfucking knee on his neck with an officer looking into a goddamn camera. That's a lot different than somebody running and getting shot in the back or some shit. So please stop putting these people who are going and literally attacking ICE officers next to people who might get pulled over in a traffic stop. It's not the same.
Yeah, no, our people was marching, getting dogs and water hoses put on them. And they were saying, and no, the same context, their same defense was they weren't adhering to what we were telling them to do.
Do that. I can't let you do that to Dr. King and them, because Dr. King was nonviolent. He was not out there antagonizing nobody, which is what made his protest powerful.
You brought up Martin just in specific to say this the one non-violent. We got Malcolm X, we got Medgar Evers, niggas who were quote unquote violent in some sort, is the police put it.
What type of violent protest? Show me the violent protest that they were leading.
That's my point. They weren't, but the police said they were, and that's what they use as justification. Yeah, my point is, y'all niggas is getting out here and saying the police said, and that's why we shouldn't listen. As Brownsville pointed out. That's evidence, y'all. That's not fact.
I'm not telling you the police said. I literally just got done reviewing a video of multiple of these ICE incidents. And I can tell you, yes, ICE is involved. They're doing some bullshit. But when you got people throwing snowballs at them, jumping out in front of the road when they're driving down the street, hanging on to the back of the car, doing whatever they can to impede their investigations.
So now
you
murdering them is just justified.
You lose your part of the conversation, and I would hope you recognize you're going to empower ICE. While y'all sitting up here doing all this fake ass crying, nigga, they finna get some immunity type deal because of what is happening, and you acting like you don't see it.
Facts.
No, I'm confused though, because you acting like if you don't fight it, it somehow gets better.
Yeah, you're supposed to fight it on the side of the street. You're supposed to fight it
wherever you fight it, because that's the thing y'all keep leaving out. If y'all keep going off, this is what the police said, and this is why they were wrong. And now we're trying to justify that these murders, because this continue at this point, they're literally it's a lot of people getting earthed out here off of them.
A lot.
The point, yes, a lot. Like more than 10 people in the last. I mean, since the year to December of last year to now, more than 10 people murdered. We're not talking about just like. Literally. Huh?
Never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, that happened under Obama too, bro. That people die under ICE detention, bro. It happened.
No, we're not talking about the same rate. That's what I'm saying. They're pointing it out now because it's happening at a higher rate. That's what happens when you start hiring more.
Wait, but I'm saying if I successfully arrest 100,000 people and 3 get killed, that's a lot. I'm just throwing out numbers.
You wrong though. See, look how you have to fabricate and make up some bullshit. Because how many cases? Listen, we can point out, and this with nobody getting earthed.
Brother, you said 10 people in a year.
And what I said, that's just the people getting earthed. That's just people getting earthed. That's no longer in this world. There's so many thousands. We can point out thousands of times that they're grabbing American citizens and saying, we did this because we thought you were an immigrant. These people are saying we're not, and proving themselves not to be, but they're still remaining in detention. So even without that, that's what I'm saying. It's things that's happening to where they're going to. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a handful of times you're using like minority, which I don't even agree with that. If you're an American citizen, you should not be detained by ICE. I agree with you on that. I don't even know who would disagree. Like those are bad points. Nobody thinks American citizens should be snatched up by ICE. The problem is when you see them when you see them doing their job and they snatch up 100 illegals, you complaining about the one and acting like the 100 wasn't the job. Like I don't understand it.
No, I'm saying the one that died was American. They weren't even an immigrant. That's my point here. And that's
who the one that died? Wait. Who the one that died? Give me the
Renee. The boy in LA. It's people in Chicago. It's people that have passed from this. That's what I'm saying. It's multiple people that have passed from this. This is just in the last month. So that's the bigger thing at top, right? But y'all are also ignoring how many people are being falsely detained. Some people are being sent out as immigrants, and they found out after they sent them somewhere like Guatemala, which they're not from. They're like native to Mexico. They're sending these dudes to Guatemala or something, and now they're like, oh yeah, factually this is an American citizen. However, it's not on us to get them back. These are things that are tearing us apart. They're going to cause more friction for us.
Me apart by doing shit to no motherfucking.
No, I'm talking about the American society. We're not talking about you.
Yeah, but what you mean the American society? How is it going to tear us apart? We're
watching it. That's the wilder thing, y'all. We're watching people disagree. We're up here arguing and disagreeing in our different points. We're literally watching people protest, and y'all saying when? It's already here.
It's only.
Do you see how they're protesting? Do you see
what
how
are
they're
you talking about?
Like, do you see how they're protesting though?
Yeah, no, that's not. That's what I'm saying. That's really just not like adequate to say. Like now, the results is if you impede on them, just because you impeded on this ICE investigation where you shouldn't have done it, and that's why your dumb ass dead. It's crazy. We're lacking empathy here. We're just not. It's not because that's all I can understand. When it's us not in the situation ourselves, sometimes it's really easy to disassociate yourself from it.
That could be one of mine in that situation. I'm going to be concerned about why they thought it was okay to go impede in a federal investigation. That's going to concern me. What the hell made my people think it was cool to go mess with a federal investigation? That's what's going to bother me.
Taz, your whole thing, correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize if I'm getting his name wrong. But you said the main reason that was good with the shit was when they killed your homeboy Sam, I believe you said.
Yes,
it was the same, but that's all I'm saying. You still wanted some justice for your mans, even when he went in the wrong, and you felt that was an overstep of what they did. That probably ain't what it should have resulted in. It's not me going against us by saying, bro, they shouldn't have done that to that white woman. I don't give a fuck if she is white, black, Guatemala, whatever the fuck she is. I'm just saying that's a government overreach. If we're going to sit here and stand by, we're talking about how we're empowering them by fighting them. I just don't understand how we think sitting by and doing shit, literally nothing, like just watching it happen, is somehow going to give us more strength. We're going to lose it more. I would rather die fighting than just sit on my ass and get it took. Pause.
Right. So why you ain't out there? So having said that, why you ain't out there protesting?
That's how you know it's cat.
I participated in some protests.
He just said he'd rather die when he not even outside.
Hold on, y'all. Let me read a couple. I got 2 super chats. Let me just read a couple. I'm next. Touch with the fathers. I mean, we should protest. I don't think peacefully will work, but I'm not saying violence. But we should go out there with our guns, and then what?
I mean, isn't that how the Panthers protested?
Bro, he gonna be the
Aaron to Lucas with the fathers. Let's think bigger picture about what's going on. You personally aren't thought about when decisions are made. What's the true plan going on?
Yeah, they don't want to talk about it. They want to just keep arguing with KP.
Oh no,
I've been coming up with crazy other theories.
I brought this up. Let's and that's what we're going to talk about. More theories or whatever you want to ask. Because if we're talking about what's the bigger plan, we don't know, so we can only say what we think it is. So I brought this up a couple times. Peter Thiel. This is really, it's a group of rich white people. They're literally controlling our government. I'm talking about, we can look this up factually. This is not a conspiracy of any kind. This isn't me spouting what I think. You can look up Donald Trump's main financial supporter and JD Vance's main financial, and I'm talking about JD Vance's whole career.
And that's why I say you just be wanting to argue, because remember when I said that in the beginning, that is ran by the rich. You was arguing with me then, and now you're pointing out the people is ran by.
The rich don't run. I said if the rich are running it, we're saying that's not the system running properly. I'm saying you be tripping, bro. But anyway, the people, those rich white people, they have all had a shared common ideology, which is they believe in white superiority, and specifically black inferiority. Like they have openly admitted.
Oh my God, bro!
That theory dies at the beginning, bro. Because if it's white superiority, the bitch should have been able to drive off, right?
Right,
no,
man.
No. Because let's be very frank. White superiority has always killed white people. Remember when we were back in the days with
so then it's not white superiority. It's about money. It's about money.
That's not true.
Or just say white male.
How is that not true?
Superiority. Nazis,
bro,
let's talk about this.
Pushing this Israelite stuff, bro. You gotta stop this.
What the fuck are you talking about? I don't even prescribe to no Israelite.
Yeah, but that's what they be saying, bro. They be pushing the same stuff, trying to make it seem.
It's not. When I'm talking about Peter,
now we about to argue about.
That's not what fucking Hebrew Israelites argue about or even speak on. I'm just saying something we could factually point out. Even down to Greenland, like I said, okay, even down to Greenland, like I pointed out to Sharon last week, Peter Thiel said, and this is last year, y'all can look this up. He wants to get Greenland and make it a private city. A lot of these things that are being done are Peter Thiel and a group of people around him behest. Those people do have a goal in mind that they've already admitted to.
Yeah, but we're not arguing that they don't have a goal in mind, but you always trying to make it some white and black thing. Like you said that their main goal is. You said that their no. You said that their.
It doesn't matter what his argument is, as long as we could put out proper information.
That don't matter what it's arguing.
Yeah, as long as we can put out the proper information that goes against it and prove it logically, that's the only thing that matters. Because he's not the only one that think like that. So we cannot stop him from saying whatever he's saying if we have the proper information that go against it, and one of them is more logical than other. Because that's what we need to do: get more logic information out there in the world, because he is not the only one that thinks like this. And it is okay for us to properly walk things down, or either he walking us down, whichever way it works. But let's be able to have the conversation so we can walk each other down and get down to the logic of whatever the situation is. I am Trill Will. This is a good cook. Shout out to the Kings debating. Shout out to you, Trill Will. Appreciate that. I believe Goat want to finish up saying some things.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think because again, I didn't know where he was going with that. It sounds very conspiratorial. I think we need to be more concerned with where we are now. Like I said, you got the citizens in the street contesting in a law enforcement group that for some reason is not being respected as such. Right. And I'm saying black people need to recognize that your life is on the line playing with them people. Fuck these tough guys shenanigans online and making it seem like they ain't that. No, nigga, they're that. Quit playing with them.
Yeah.
I agree, and that's how we end up saying that you're kind of inciting that when you're making it seem like there's something to play with. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I hear people like Detroit or KT talk, even though y'all not saying go out there and fight them or go out there, well, KT has said go out there and protest, but those protests usually result in things happening. You know what I'm saying? People getting hurt, and if you're really trying to avoid that, that's the last thing you should want, because the real reason why she was out there, we all know why. And the real reason she got shot is because truly she was out there, right? Because it was unfortunate. It was super unfortunate when you look at it, you know, the angle of the car, the cop almost getting hit. But it's like, yo, you put yourself in that situation. And I just think we need to stop telling Americans, however we doing it, to do shit like that. We need to stop, man, because somebody else gonna get shot, man. And then what? Now, whoever's funding this, because just like Diddy, and I'm gonna land it here, just like Diddy had people, he was paying people $20 an hour to wear the free Diddy shirts out there, right? Marketing is a real thing. They really do pay people to go out there and to incite different type of things to turn it into a riot, to turn it up to the next level so we can get it on the news. That's something that's normal. So
that wasn't factual though, bro.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
The people that was wearing them shirts at the Diddy thing, that wasn't factual. When them people looking like crackheads, bro. Trust me, I was there every day, bro. So Diddy ain't paid them people. They'd have paid better people, bro.
No. You probably saw different ones out there, but at one point he had the ones that he paid out there. Like, I'm not saying they was always out there. And that's how things
get back. Hold on, but do you know that to be a fact, bro?
Yes.
You don't. You don't know that to be a fact, bro. So stop, bro. I was there for
40 days. Did you watch the wait?
I was there at the trial for 40 days. I've seen these people. I spoke to people that was there, bro. I'm talking from a factual place.
Not only that, Lee, he's also in the actual documentary. You see him in the documentary.
Bro, yeah.
See him what?
In the documentary, the 50 Diddy situation. Like he was there.
Word, Uda? Yeah. Superstar in this bitch. Hold up.
Yeah, you could clear you.
No, I'm not. Yeah, well, yo, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like,
whatever. I don't care about whatever with him, but I'm just saying because we was all thinking at the same time, but we couldn't really prove that to be a fact. So I just want you to say something as a fact when we was there trying to figure it out to be a fact. But the ones that was there, son, they was looking like some fiends, looking like they was in a shelter, looking crazy, bro. Some of these people look like they was slow. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but that's making my point even more is that he paid them to be there. Yo, put this shirt on, go stand over here for just for the show. That's all I'm saying. Like, all I'm saying is that people pay for things to happen, and it happens inside of these. You know, that's all I was saying. Okay. But yeah, yo, shout out to that.
And when we talk about protesting, we got to understand is what these people have been doing is not protesting.
Exactly.
Impeding, jumping on cars, burning cars, burning buildings, throwing snowballs. That is beyond protesting.
Yes.
Right. That's the paid people right there that I'm talking about, Bracy. Those are the ones that'll burn a car because I'm telling you, they getting paid crazy, $50 an hour, crazy money. Yo, go start some shit. It's so.
Well, who's paying? Like that? Like that's. I want to say, who's paying them though? Like, do you think it's Tim Wall? Is people paying them, or do y'all think it's Trump paying them, for diversion? Like who's paying?
It's all cash, Kulu. We ain't gonna
never. It's all cash, bro. You ain't gonna never know, but believe it's happening, brother. Like,
we ain't gonna never understand. We ain't gonna never find that paper trail. But we know the fact that it is happening.
Hey, Sharon, where's the right? Let me push back a little bit on that. So this is why I can't say that. What I see is the same exact people that I saw when those riots were happening in 2020, and all that shit got blamed on black people.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. And these are the same people, the same white crowds protesting loudly out front, talking, burning shit down, creating barriers. These are white people. But the only difference is this time it's not a black victim, so they can't blame Black Lives Matter.
Yes, and not only that, it's not directed in an exact location, right? It's always traveling. So like with the Floyd situation, it was in a stable. We are all going here. So when you pop it off, it's kind of it's saturated, and so now that creates opportunity for the bad actors that's just there, just to be a bad actor. So you got the paid actors that's going to try to incite it. And then you got the people that's just there waiting for something to happen. But with this ICE situation, they have people driving around attempting to keep up with all the investigations. And so it's a forever moving protest. And that's the difference between this and something when we are trying to go against the police. Because
that red flags it. That red flags it as a paid.
With Floyd and all these other police crimes, you got to be organized and you got to file it, right? So like even the one I was a part of in New York, you know where it's going to be at, and you can walk from this place to this place, But with the ICE situation, they are following the police and say they are over here, and then that's why they are pulling over with whistles because they have no idea where they're going to be the next day. They up there with whistles, stopping traffic and warning the neighborhood. So it's not organized protesting, which is impeding literally.
Well, that part, Teron, is why I think it's because it's not as organized of an operation that ICE is operating with. That's where I think, like, no matter what, let's assume that if people were this up in arms about ICE operations, but ICE was more not covert, but just like was able to like execute it more precisely instead of these sweeping things they've been kind of doing in neighborhoods, then it would probably be hard for the protesters to even know where they were. Because they went to this one house, in and out, boom, boom, done. Like most operations with police, right?
So, but
and I'm about to leave. Hold on,
so
I was gonna leave here too.
I'm pretty sure
the GOAT leave like 30 minutes ago.
I'm pretty sure the GOAT could show you, but they are outside where they are located at, and then they wait for the cars to leave, and then they follow the cars.
Literally outside the federal facility,
location, right?
Yeah, they literally follow.
They like.
But that's not go out there and protest.
Hold on, y'all. One at a time, y'all. It's okay. Hold on.
Just right quick, Detroit. This is how bad it is. They are barricading the entrance. Right. So before the ICE officers can even leave the entrance, they got to move all the barricades, fight all the people off. They pull the vans out slow. They got to fight down the street to get down the street. Then it's a whole caravan to follow them wherever they're going.
So I haven't seen the videos of that. Like, you know what I mean? So if anybody want to provide videos of that part at the detention centers where like these, like, okay.
Come on, Detroit.
Yo, this guy, I'm trying to
so like real quick, right?
Go out there and protest. Go see it for yourself.
Hold on. Let me say this. At no point have I just said that and try to hold on to some fact of me being right. That's actually contrition. So if y'all want to like jump on me for that, y'all jump on me for being right too. So y'all just like to jump on a nigga, so whatever. But what I'm trying to think, because I just was contrite and said something that I might not know. Listen,
pausation for that one. Pause.
Whatever, man. I'm too old for that shit, y'all. So 2023 operations with ICE. This is just their operations, not detention. Okay, you had 4 deaths that were reported in 2024. Like there's some estimates that as high as 9.
Oh wow!
In 2025, the deadliest year in nearly 20 years, highest since 2004. So last year, 30 to 32 people died through ICE operations.
Oh wow! Terrifying.
From a previous, right? And already we on pace to break that record with the operations that have gone on so far. So whatever you feel about what's going on.
Can I just say something?
I don't know how that benefits any of us. If you find benefit from that, go ahead.
So I just want to say, no, it's not illegal to follow the ICE agent. The part that me, Taz, Lee, and a couple of others are saying is that once they start throwing snowballs, blowing whistles, honking their horn, stopping their traffic, once they start doing all those things, that is not whistle.
Yeah, I was about to say only one of those things you even said was a crime.
Detroit, so I didn't think snowballs like fuck somebody up before.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's
like,
not. It's not.
That's assault.
Hold on,
But
hold on. When you
whistle-
impede, hold on, y'all. Hold on. We got to be clear about what we're saying, right? If you are impeding, that is a crime.
Saying somebody is blowing the whistle is not impeding you, fam.
I knew you was gonna highlight the whistle, brother.
I mean, following your car is not impeding you.
Yo, why are they harassing?
Hold on,
This
please.
is insane.
Standing in the driveway is a
Hold
crime.
on,
Standing on the
hold on.
walkway is a crime.
Hold on, please.
It's
So you saying to me right now, both of you, KT and Detroit, if I have a criminal in my house and the police knows that, and I give that person warning, am I breaking the law?
Yes, you're asking the wrong question though. Most of these people don't have criminals in their homes. They're just protesting. So they don't have criminals in their home. They're just blowing whistles and following the ICE people.
Okay, so now when we follow that logic, these ICE agents are doing a federal job, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are stopping them from doing a job, is that a crime?
I don't know how blowing a whistle is stopping you from doing your job.
All you gotta do is answer the question. All you gotta do is answer the question.
Yes, but blowing a whistle is not stopping you from doing your job, right?
All you gotta do is answer the question.
This is absolutely insane.
KT, I just peeped it because I was thinking like, what the hell with the whistle? But I just peeped as they saying it for real. If they doing the investigation and I'm over here blowing whistles, I could be obstructing it, blowing up the spot on the investigation as well, right? In a way like that, you mean? Like I could be obstructing an investigation by me coming through, blowing up, hotting up the spot. What the hell you doing, bro? I'm over here trying to do a thing over here, bro.
I just want to see the same. Like, let your neighbor know before SWAT come raid their house. I ain't never heard black people say, like, when have we ever done this for each other? When have we ever
I was just about to say, that's what I wanted to.
Y'all niggas.
Tad's about to take everything I'm about to say.
Don't let them out.
They're called lookouts. They're called lookouts.
Hold on, please. Do you believe if I give this person warning that is not against the law?
No.
No.
Please show me the law, y'all. Real quick. We can laugh, we can talk shit, we can call names. Just give me the law.
Okay.
That's why certain people shouldn't be allowed to the party. So it's common sense to me, but they want to make stupid arguments. Now, you mean to tell me, Detroit or KT, if anybody blows a whistle, which is a certain decibel, I'm not that scientific, but if somebody blows a whistle at a continuous tone at a long time, that's not going to affect you in some certain way. Let's be real. You can laugh all you want. But if I'm trying to do a job, whistle, which is a high decibel, you joking, okay.
You can't do your job no more? I'm confused. Like, is this your argument? You can't do your job because somebody's blowing a whistle?
Yo, these dudes are agents of chaos, bro.
Hold on, please. I need to understand, KT. If I am looking for somebody in this house and you tell them before I get there, is that stopping me from doing my job?
My bad. I apologize. Could you repeat that?
If I'm attempting to arrest somebody in this house and you tell them before I get there, is that stopping me from doing my job?
No.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
So you can't still investigate after somebody told them they not there.
Yo, this guy
You can't literally go to the house and say, you're the person who owns the home. Where did that person go? Because correct me if I'm wrong. By the Constitution, I am under no obligation to help.
No.
You guys are criminals.
Hold on. We are not talking about. Hold on, you need to answer my question because I don't know.
I just did like 15 times.
I said somebody in the street warned somebody else. Is that stopping the officer from doing their job?
He said no.
No. I said no. That's what I'm saying. I've answered it already.
So if that's your idea, then fine.
He's a criminal.
It's called obstruction of justice.
Yeah, I just said
that's
literally
exactly what it's called.
No, but Brownsville, he think it's not a crime.
Let somebody that's in the law tell him.
Thank you, Brownsville.
I mean, but we know this already. Ain't like I don't know this. I know this.
It's okay. We're not just talking to us on a panel. We gotta always remember it ain't just us.
I understand that, but you let KT talk and he just be blabbering the craziest wild.
The problem is you think that it's nobody else that thinks like him. That's the issue.
Oh no, I know it's people that think like him.
All right, then. So let us walk it down.
Oh, I'm here walking it down with you. I just was agreeing with Brownsville. Go ahead, my bad.
So when they're working in their official capacity, right, to apprehend illegal immigrants or whatever they're doing in their official capacity, and you are there impeding their investigation by creating a distraction or diversion via a whistle or loud noise, you're in violation of obstruction of justice. So yes, you are committing a crime.
Yeah. So okay. So there was a thing in I think was it I think the same state where white women or white liberal women were putting like Mexico stickers on their car and like Spanish words and whatnot just to have ICE pull them over so they can kind of like delay them. Like, would y'all consider that breaking the law?
Absolutely. All of those things, and here's the danger in what's happening, right? And this is what brings me back to the dangerous rhetoric of the governor, right? Because when you describe these federal agents as brutal and disruptive and creating chaos, and then you're telling your citizens that they're kidnapping people and that they're, utilizing their powers indiscriminately, and you describe them as these criminals, right? That is going to incite your citizens to resist, to
Wait, you saying the media?
diversions, to interfere.
The governor said this.
Oh, that's what Tim Walz said. That's what Tim Walz said. Okay, got you. I just wanted to be clear on what he was talking about.
But legally, what is kidnapping though, Brownsville? Like legally, right?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to that. That's crazy.
Here we go with the rabbit hole. Here we go.
Because kidnapping is when you push somebody without their.
What Tim Walz did, like it is to me personally, I ain't see it no different than Trump in January 6th. Me personally.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I was kind of lost there, like the whole way. Okay, so yeah, and if he did that, bro, that's definitely adding to the problem because a lot of people are just assuming that they're going against the Gestapo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you're going against law enforcement. This ain't that. You ain't fighting the security at the club, dude.
Right.
And I know better.
But Sharon. Is Tim Walz the guy that said that they go to people's houses and asking the neighbors where the black people live at?
Pretty much, that's what he said. He said
that's what he was saying, right? Okay, yeah, I heard
going door to door to look for people of color,
people of color, right?
Illegal immigrants. That's what the man said. That's crazy.
The Gestapo was police, though, right?
Oh my god!
Like y'all acting like I'm.
Yeah, they were the law enforcement of the dictators.
Yeah, and obstruction, because that's why I was being quiet. I thank you, Brownsville. You're correct in some sense, but if it's being very clear on what it legally says, keep it real with me. Keep it real. There's a lot of legal implications about what is obstruction. Technically, if I ask you a question and you don't answer, I can charge you with obstruction. That don't mean you actually get the charge for obstruction. So even when you say like, can it be obstruction? I'm agree with that and I get that. But the actual rules, and let me just make sure I'm being spot on with this. It says it covers this broad terms covers various actions. It mostly includes of lying to officials, destroying evidence, intimidating witnesses or jurors, 2, physically restraining officers. So that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of contention about even with I get what you're saying in terms of can they be charged with it? Does it uphold a lot? Not really, because saying a whistle isn't going to impede upon your investigation. It's not like you can't sit there and still ask questions.
So you're wrong, and the key word in that is broad, right? Because what you have to understand is those federal agents have what's called officer discretion, right? So if they can articulate that while we were going from X to Z, we had these people following us, trying to create diversions and disrupting our investigation by doing XYZ. That's obstruction of justice that they articulated, right? So you're putting yourself in jeopardy of being prosecuted, right? And why would we advocate for people to do that? That does not make sense, right? And then we also have to understand that these situations always have the propensity to escalate into violence, right? And once it escalates into violence, then you're going to be back on here saying, well, why did they have to do what they did? And I'm gonna tell you this, right? Those federal agents, the majority of them, they just want to go home, right? They want to do their job and go home to their family or whatever they got going on, right? And if you create such a toxic situation to where in their mind, now they're thinking that they're in a war zone, now you've created a situation that is going to be very, very volatile going forward. And that's what my fear is when I heard the governor of Minnesota's rhetoric last night.
Brownsville, if I take a person, Brownsville, if I take a person and move them, let's say 10 feet with the weapon, that would be considered kidnapping, correct?
Not to an officer, because all he has to articulate, because they going off a reasonable suspicion, right? Now, during the course of that investigation, so if they temporarily detain someone because of reasonable suspicion, and then they figure out that this person is legal and they didn't have a right to detain them, and then they release them, that's not kidnapping, brother.
No, I'm not talking about detaining them. I'm talking about, so like when you see a person that's on this, that's protesting, right? And an officer has their gun out, grabs them and pushes them around, let's say across the street somewhere, right? Would you consider that legally kidnapping?
No.
Well, based on the legal definition, like if you move person past the foot, I think, and what is it, like a foot or is it inches, and without their consent, with I think a deadly weapon, is considered kidnapping legal.
But see, you're under the assumption that they didn't give them verbal commands prior to pushing.
But you have to be under the assumption that they did. That's what I'm saying.
Hold on 1 second. In a majority sense, right? They're giving them verbal commands. Move back. Move away. Stop impeding in the investigation, right? And they're not complying with the verbal commands. Now they're requiring those federal agents to go into the use of force continuum.
Exactly.
But what if it's not?
Come on, man. Stop it with
no,
these.
because
no. Protest loudly and urgently.
That don't even make sense. They don't.
No, my scenario is
it doesn't
right.
They're
just on the
stop.
Kulu, you're just an anarchist. You're an anarchist.
No, I'm not an anarchist. No, I'm not. Like.
We in trouble.
Yo, Taz, when I seen that, I was like, nah, this ain't for real. Like, he cannot be saying these words for real. Like, I was surprised.
But we watched the video, y'all.
You gotta protest urgently and loudly, bro.
No, that's not even what he said. That's what I'm saying. We watched the video. Like, it's crazy how we watched the video verbatim, and that's not what he said.
I'm watching it right now. You must protest loudly, urgently, but also peacefully, is what he says. Now, to you, peacefully is blocking the middle of the goddamn street, people being out there doing what the hell they want to do, going against the officers.
That's not what most people doing in their protest, though, are they, Taz?
Yes, you're not holding. No. I disagree. That's not most of them. Okay, but the ones that's doing it, you're covering for them.
No, I'm not. He literally sat there and said we shouldn't do violent things because that's what Trump wants. So aren't you see? Isn't he literally saying don't do that?
No, not if he's saying we must protest loudly.
No, because most of those are loud and they're loud and passionately protesting civilly. That's what most people are doing. So why would you not address the majority and instead only address the minority? And when you do.
Wait, you can't say that when Renee Good is the minority.
That's what I'm saying.
No, that's not what you're saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I'm saying most people are not doing that, right?
Okay, hold on. Hold on, KT. So you think?
Oh, Jesus.
Therefore, with that logic, KT, we shouldn't be worrying about Renee because she's the minority. Most people are not getting killed by ICE.
That don't even make sense.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Listen, when stuff started changing in Germany, bro, they didn't just instantly pull up all the small hats.
KT, do you believe that majority of people are getting shot in the face by ICE?
No, but it's
Okay,
but it's
so why
more
you
than
talking-
but it's
all right,
more
so
than what
why-
we're used to.
so why-
It's increasing.
So why are you not talking about ICE doing their job with majority warrants and they going after illegals?
Because it's literally increasing.
I'm
Beyond that,
asking
we're
you a
literally
question.
seeing an increase of
Okay, so
them.
let me ask you a different
I'm
question.
answering it.
Okay, no, you're not. Do you believe majority of ICE going after illegals and after documentations, and they are investigating people that are illegal?
No.
So you think they going after citizens?
Yeah, for sure. They are.
This is crazy. You are just like
So
Tim
are
Walz.
they not going after citizens? Can we not literally prove American citizens being taken, detained, even shipped out
Is
of the
that the
country by
majority
ICE?
or the minority?
No. Hold on.
No,
You
he
said
asked
majority.
where they happened. He wasn't even asking
No,
the
I said
majority or
majority.
minority.
No, I literally said majority. I literally said majority.
Exactly.
I said majority. You cannot escape. You cannot escape that I said majority. This is why it's so important that this is why the name of this show, right? Like I put the whole Texas sharpshooter fallacy. These people keep continuously doing that, even when they don't know that they're doing it. Exactly. They will frame the argument, they'll shoot the goddamn wall, and then they'll paint a bullseye around the hole and say, see, I hit it right on the nail.
Exactly, and that's exactly what he did in Living Color.
Yeah, that's really terrible analogies. Like it's like, no offense, because me and you talked about this outside of the show before, have we not, Sharon? Listen, just because a bunch of people agree on a panel does not mean something's correct. It's really that simple.
Hold on, KT.
And I'm not. Listen,
KT,
I'm not talking about
KT. You literally agreed with it. You literally went against your own argument. Literally in real time.
I never once. Where's my argument ever been? Majority of ICE agents are killing people.
Your argument right now is that majority of the protesters are not impeding on ICE. Correct?
Yeah, they're being peaceful.
Okay, so also the majority is not shooting people in the face, but you are
said that also.
One lady being shot in the face.
No, I'm not. I brought up the LA kid. I brought up the guy from Chicago. I can bring up more people.
What I'm trying to get you to understand, if we gotta focus on the protesters that are doing all the right things, then you also gotta focus on the majority of the ICE officers that's doing the right things as well, because the majority of them are doing the right thing. It's just simple logic. But you will break your logic.
But we're seeing them increasing.
The problem is you will break your logic to say, no, I don't believe ICE is doing the right thing. And there goes.
No, I'm saying we're seeing them literally.
And there goes you shooting the barn, and then you paint a target over your bullet hole.
Where you're incorrect.
I shot a bullseye.
That's where you're incorrect, though, Sharon. So what I'm pointing out is you're not seeing more violent protests, quote unquote. You're seeing more murders from ICE than you do these violent protesters. And that's increasing. It's not going to decrease by just sitting in the house. I'm just saying.
Okay, so
real quick, Brownsville left. Damn.
So you said you did a show on it earlier today, correct?
Yeah. I mean, bro, literally.
Now, in your experience, have you seen the protests increasingly getting more and more? Like, has it increasingly went a certain direction? Did it tone down or did it tone up?
No, what I see is the issue that it was with the Renee thing, bro, and that's not going to change. Different officers are going to handle things a different way. So in one of them little clips, the officer popped out and sprayed the mace right in the woman's face. You know what I'm saying? Purposefully, like trying to hurt her with it. And that, you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. But then in another clip, you got a woman throwing snowballs and running up to the car trying to throw stuff in the ICE car, and she gets sprayed in the face with mace. I don't have no problem with that. You can't do that. And so like they're out there, and it's too much happening for anybody to say that, oh, I'm protecting the police or I'm protecting the people. No, you're ignoring the problem. They out there antagonizing these people, and at some point, Donald Trump is going to protect them.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah, who was doing the antagonizing from the beginning? Let's start there. I'm with you, Taz, right? So who was antagonizing first? What did we start with having protests or did we start with having ICE?
JT, we're not gonna let you do that. You keep moving the goalposts.
It's no moving no goalposts. We're on the same thing, my nigga. Please stop all this.
You always negate, always you.
What did I negate? Just say what I negate. Stop saying the shit and just say what I'm negating, please.
The first act is they are out there illegally protesting. Illegally.
You're illegally protesting. So I'm gonna ask you, did we have illegal protests first or did we have ICE come first?
We had illegal immigrants first. That's why ICE is out there.
Yeah, do we have ICE or do we have illegal protests? Because he's saying stay on topic. We're talking about the protesters and
okay,
ICE.
illegal immigration.
So let's not talk about
illegal immigration.
Yeah,
let's try to stop the bullshit.
ICE or protesters. We're trying to figure out which ones are the aggravators here, right?
So now you're trying to change the story up.
No,
we're talking order of operation.
We're not talking about fucking immigrants. We're not talking about why does ICE exist, are we?
Why is ICE out there? Why are they even there?
They're supposed to be there for immigrants.
So what happened when they were going for the immigrants?
Bounds and do things to American citizens, correct?
You keep saying overstep the boundaries and we've proven that that's been false. So move on.
Where did you prove it? You just said it's
consistently.
False. I just say I disagree. No, you're not.
Okay, you disagree, but the law still supports it. So you're just saying
the law does not support murder for somebody getting peed in traffic. That's not what the law supports.
You're taking the far exception from the rule. ICE has full jurisdiction from corner to corner of the United States. Y'all keep saying they're not law enforcement officers. That's retarded. Yes, they are.
I never said that.
That has been said multiple times.
Arguments. I have not said
that
once.
You never said that ICE doesn't have the right to stop.
No, they're fucking federal agents. They're legal. They're federal agents. They have federal immunity above the fucking local jurisdiction. So
they can go after people violating federal laws, right?
Yeah, they could go after people violating any law,
including impeding a federal investigation, right?
Yep.
Okay, end of story.
And what I've been pointing out is when you, because I literally pointed this out 1 billion times. This is what y'all are skipping. When you do things, there's protocol, correct? So when you commit a crime, there's typically a consequence that comes with that. You do capital M, it's a certain guideline. When someone is impeding traffic, if we're saying that this murder is justified just because she's impeding traffic, we are backing the overreach.
That's not what we said. Hold up, that's not what we said. And I'm tired of you saying that.
Right.
So you didn't literally say this happened because she didn't listen.
I'm saying first of all, she was obstructing justice. Fuck what she's saying fuck the BS about her impeding traffic, because that's not actually what was going on. She was literally interfering with a federal investigation. So fuck everything else. So now we go on to the actual thing. In doing so, she then put herself in a dangerous position because she decided to aim her fucking vehicle at a person. Regardless if she intended to do it or not, guess what? She did it. So when she got hit, unfortunately, we can both, again, we can stop and understand that she probably shouldn't have lost her life, but we can also have to acknowledge the fact that she shouldn't have been doing it.
Yeah, and that's what I've done this whole time. I'm with y'all. I'm saying laws are broken. I'm saying the consequence for those laws being broken are being overstepped.
When those officers told her to get out the vehicle, if she would have gotten out the vehicle, she would be here making this argument right now. But the fact that she's decided to buck on it.
Hold on. No, so the problem is this. You keep looking at the initial thing and saying that's the whole thing. You saying
wait, me or him?
KT.
No, I'm not. I'm literally saying that the outcome for what happened in the beginning. So can't say I'm stuck on the beginning.
So exactly. So what is your idea of what happened? That she did what?
Broke laws. Whatever law she broke. Impeding traffic, obstruction. She broke a couple laws.
Right, and then you forget the part that she hit him with the car and he had internal bleeding afterwards.
No, he said he had internal bleeding. This is the report.
Yeah, there's no medical records of that.
That's what I'm saying. Like anybody could say anything.
Hold on. Regardless of that, right? Whether you want to believe him or not, because everything that is the cop saying you don't believe at all. He's lying about every single thing. Fine. But you cannot say it's because of a traffic violation is the reason why she got shot. That is not why she got shot. And this is
I'm saying whatever she did, when you break the law, your consequence is not the death penalty typically.
I'm talking. You keep acting as if, right? And the only way you could win your argument is that you keep it and say, hey, it was a traffic violation. It was, she just impeded. But that's not what actually happened. You're just trying to focus on that one part.
No, it's not. So I'm gonna prove you wrong real quick, Sharon.
You keep saying the same thing over and over. And
I just said she committed assault with the vehicle.
While I'm talking,
could you just keep repeating?
So what? Is it your show?
I mean, nah, but that don't mean we can't proceed with the conversation. You need to stick to what you tell somebody.
While I'm talking, please.
I mean, first of all, you're making an incorrect statement. I think it's okay for you. Could you correct me very quickly if you feel I'm making an incorrect statement? Daddy. And I have said from the beginning, bro, assault. Yeah, she assaulted him with the vehicle. Let's give her that. The consequence for that is typically not death penalty.
No, you're
it's
wrong.
It's really easy.
No, you're wrong.
All right.
You're wrong. If the officer feel like you are putting his life in danger, he is able to assess it and react with deadly force. So just because you have a knife doesn't mean the cop shouldn't shoot you. Like, oh, all I had was a knife. You don't get to say, well, you don't get to shoot me. You don't get to say that. It's not up to you to decide it because you could watch it in slow motion and say,
no, you're right. It's up to the law to decide.
He could have been Captain America and did a full flip and dive on his shield. No, you're going to get capped in America if you do what she did.
Bar. Yo, you love that battle rap bar, goddamn it. Listen,
but look, anybody else would have been killed. Huh? Anybody in that situation would have got shot.
No.
No, hey, yes, they would have. We have numerous cases of black men shot.
Listen, the same guy got hit by a car. He did not kill that last person. The same dude got really hit by a car, like severely hit, like how we debating on how hard that hit was. I seen it. That nigga got hit. You hear me? That nigga got hit. He didn't even kill the last person. So no, that's a lot.
So wait, hold on. I watched the last video too. You know where his gun wasn't at that time? In his hand.
It was on his hip. You can unlatch the motherfucker. It's not hard.
He was being drugged.
Yeah, you can unlatch the motherfucker. That's what I'm saying.
But hey, you notice how you're giving a lot of leeway to bullshit, but you're not giving leeway to what's actually going on. That's what we're trying to tell you, KT.
I'm saying if y'all justification is that because he got bumped, he was just because he felt afraid and this, that, and the third. I'm cool. I'm getting everything y'all saying. What y'all are missing is there are things that are within the law, bro. That's all I'm pointing out for y'all. It's a law that's set up there.
You're making a legal.
Whatever, there's a literal consequence for that. We cannot avoid these consequences.
Hold on. What are you saying?
No consequences.
Hold on. What do you mean? I'm confused. So you saying that him being afraid of his life is not a part of the law?
No, I'm saying literally, even with you being afraid, if I commit a certain crime, like I said from the beginning, capital M, it's a timeline that comes with that. Jail time that comes with that. Death penalty isn't even allowed in most states.
What do that have to do with this situation?
Nothing.
This person died.
Okay, this person died. What do that have to do with this situation? Please.
Other people are dying. This is why I keep saying ICE overreach. So y'all talking about ICE overreach from the beginning. You remember this?
Okay, why did she die?
She assaulted him with the car.
Okay, and don't forget to take out the fact that he was afraid of his life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And maybe this is where I can agree on the difference. I'm not going to sit there and act like just because I could literally say like I could wake up right now, run over there to my neighbors, clap them, and be like, I was afraid for my life. Bro. I literally already answered the question, Sharon. That's what be weird about you.
Then so why you trying to act that it is something that is not? If you believe that he could have been afraid of his life and an officer can use deadly force,
because how many times in this country have we seen that be used to advantage?
You doing it?
You can't use that.
While I'm talking, you talking. Why? I don't understand it. So if your logic is saying that an officer can use deadly force if he believe his life is in danger, why are you not holding this lady to that same standard?
No, I didn't say that. I said I understand that's what the legal part, like ramification is, but I don't agree with that because anyone can say I'm in fear for my life.
No, you
especially
can't.
When we watch, yes, you can't. Like the police, yes, you can.
So is a car coming?
And we watch plenty of times in this country.
welcome to the show, Supreme Goddess PH Diva.
Hello, Diva.
All right. See, Sharon, I called in because I got a bone to pick with you. So I just got back in the States. Turn on YouTube, see your show, see Otis old Negro spiritual ass up there, and tried to send a little discreet cash app so you could drop him. But you like to try to pretend like you don't hear your cash app when somebody send it to you. And I know you do because it make it sound. It sound like change rattling around.
Ching, ching.
So now send me back my $20. I'm dead ass, man. I can't stand that.
I didn't see it. I'm over here fighting for my life, Diva. I ain't see it. I'm over here arguing with goddamn KT, the fake goat, stressing me out. It's nonsense. I really see it. I really see it. I got you though.
Well, he gone now, so go ahead. Let me see who I want to take out now. Let me see.
Hey, Supreme Vessel Diva. How you doing today?
I'm wonderful, sir. How are you?
Go
ahead and drop KT.
Hey, KT,
You know that was on the way.
Slap the taste out of your mouth. I'd like to see it.
Oh God.
Come on.
All right, now I'm going back to the immigration line. Bye.
She came to bust us. She came to John Wick and spin. Oh no, that was crazy.
Oh, it's okay. Hold on, baby. It says, "Bye, Otis, old Negro spiritual looking ass." My bad, Diva. I had no idea. See, y'all got me getting in trouble.
My bad, Sharon. I didn't mean to remind you.
I want to make a quick point.
Go.
Y'all know KT was making the same argument. The same argument he used against Renee dying is the same one he tried to use against the cop when he shot the dude that was outside shooting the gun. That same argument could not possibly work both ways. But he was using the exact same context in both manners. I don't understand that.
Hey, Go. I wanted to ask you, so do you think protest is necessary sometimes? Like, do you think we should be allowed to protest in America? Like regular peaceful protests, not like rioting shit.
Yeah, this ain't about protests. I think if the question is just should we be able to protest, it's absolutely. It's without a doubt. It's an unequivocal yes.
So I asked Sharon this earlier. So at what point would you say that the people have the right to, in their opinion, if they feel like the government is overstepping in their state or their country, at what point do the people have the right to kind of fight back?
You picked up the.
I mean, if we're being honest, according to the Constitution, according to the Declaration of Independence, at any point.
On the garbage show, right? Fishes on the floor.
Somebody talking?
Rocket ships get the little. Oh shit!
Hey, Sharon, yeah. Where you saying, Go?
Yeah. So according to the Declaration of Independence, if that's how we feel, we're supposed to send it up. That you know what I'm saying? That's you know that, but that's also contingent on you having the people to send it up with. But I'm just saying, theoretically, yes, you should be able to send it up if you're being mistreated in this country.
So would you say that these people, and mind you, law enforcement has the right to respond back via force that they use. But do you think that the people of Minnesota may feel like, right, it's time for them to turn up and fight back against what they believe is a dictator administration based off just the rhetoric that the Democrat Party says sometimes?
Okay, so I say it like this. If that's what they decide, it's a losing battle. Again, it's not for me to say that they shouldn't feel Trump is targeting them as a state, right? Because he does a lot of shit, and here lately it's been a lot about the fraud investigation and whatnot. Now you got this shooting. He's targeted them over the years in reference with the George Floyd and whatnot. So I don't think there's nothing there to say that. But in terms of how you're going to fight him back, you're not going to fight him back by throwing snowballs at federal cars, right? You're not gonna win that fight by taking it to ICE agents. So I just think you're going to get more people from Minnesota in front of his Justice Department getting sentenced for a crime. You know what I'm saying?
So I agree with you, but I'm thinking about it from this perspective, right? Like, let's say we didn't have guns, this was like the old kingdoms and shit, right? The ICE would be like the king's guard, in a sense. So if the people didn't like how they were being ruled and they felt like the king was overstepping, the people would fight off the king's guard and then eventually get to the king, right, to change the government, and like in a sense, right? So kind of like to reflect that on this situation, right? Like they may believe that ICE, is doing what they're doing and against the rights, and they might be fighting back. Obviously, it'd be worse if they were bringing out guns to these protests and actually firing upon ICE. Like that would be, like 10 times bad, and Trump would definitely squash that shit with the National Guard, right? So I don't disagree on that part. But that's where like my mind's at, is that at what point do people, because ICE is not popular like in the United States. Like for MAGA, it's popular. But for most Americans, and there's recent polls on this, ICE is not popular. So at what point do Americans try to do what they can to fight back?
Right. So again, when you say fight back, so I'm on the opposite side of that, and it has, because you said MAGA, right? And I don't disagree that it's a MAGA talking. Yeah. But I can take you back to my Facebook when Barack Obama is in office, and some of this is starting to come down the pipe. And I was one of those questioning even back then, over a decade ago, like, damn, what's up with these sanctuary cities and the ability for people who are here illegally to get an ID? And that's because I moved to Chicago from, where was I? I was in Lima, Ohio. Moved to Chicago, got a good ass job there, but I was working with a dude who was a fucking illegal. And he's telling me how he's an illegal, he got his ID, he sends money home, everything straight for him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just happy to have gotten this job because I'm a felon. See what I'm saying? So for me, it just didn't sit right. And this is, like I say, 2014, 2015. And it's like, God damn, wait, so you didn't have to go through the same type of background check. You didn't have to go through the same type of issues that I went through with fingerprinting and whatnot, because nobody knows you're here. And that's where it came from with me. So it's not just MAGA. We got to understand that a lot of this started when they started flooding in the sanctuary cities, and there was support for them, giving them IDs and letting them participate in the local government, not the federal government, but the local government. In cities like Chicago, where I moved to, they were literally in on it.
Okay. So I don't disagree with you there. See, as I think that problem is more of, right, us not paying attention in big cities, what these politicians are doing, and us not actually getting the right people in office to actually do the policies that we want to see done, right? So I agree with you on that. Like, that's definitely wrong, and they shouldn't be getting IDs and whatnot. But like, is we cannot act like, and you may agree, you may disagree, but I think Trump could have been a decent president if he would have did things a lot smarter. Like if he would have been more covert with ICE, like when it comes to actually like doing things by the book, then you know what I mean. Like he's in my opinion, man, he's making himself look bad when it comes to the stuff that he's doing, rather than helping his cause. Like, you see what I mean?
No, listen, bro. I fully agree. I think what you're saying though is he just should do things business as usual, which I agree. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this stunting on Front Street, having to tweet out everything, doing all this grandstanding like that. I mean, me and my wife couldn't do nothing but laugh when we seen them sitting there talking about that oil. You know what I'm saying? They talking about the oil like, you know what I'm saying, they just passing it out on some comedy special or something. It's like our took it, our money we finna get from the oil. It's like, dude, this is usually some closed door shit. I don't doubt that Barack and Bush and everybody else did the same exact shit, but they ain't do it on Front Street. He's doing this shit on Front Street, and that's the problem. He, like, even with the ICE shit, think about it, fam. Nobody deported more people than Obama, but he wasn't out here grandstanding with the shit. Nobody deported more people than Barack, but you don't know that because he wasn't grandstanding with it. It wasn't no big, hey, look at me, I'm gonna get rid of these illegals, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? But it was happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I agree, and that's why I think it's either incompetence on not doing it covertly, or he's doing it on purpose for a specific goal or result. And for what I've seen, and like you speaking on it earlier, as I was at the Dallas 2020 BLM protest where they shut down the entire intersect, the entire highway and whatnot, and I got pepper sprayed and and tear gas to where they had to put milk in my eyes just to like stop the burning, right? So, but I noticed that during the day protests was normal. Just people just like behind a fence protesting with signs, but at night you see the white boys with the cut gloves, the backpacks, the bars, pulling shit out their backpacks, like breaking windows and shit. So I feel like the same shit's happening here to make the protests seem like they're rowdy so that then Trump can use the Insurrection Act or use more force in these cities. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like to me. And I'm trying not to be, like a conspiracy theorist on this, but that's what it looks like. Because he went more covert with it. They could have been more like, it's 2025. Like the FBI, the DOJ, the Pentagon, they could easily find out who's doing all these tactical operations when it comes to inhibiting ICE, when it comes to like barricades and blocking and shit like that. They can figure all that shit out, but it's still going on. So it's almost as if they're letting it happen for a bigger issue to happen.
Yeah, I agree though. I agree. I don't think any of this is the end of the road. It's always to kick the can down the road for the next president. So although some people may view as a Trump as an outsider, I don't. You know what I'm saying? I think he's been in place long enough that whatever agenda there is, he's a part of it. And I think that's the bigger question is, do people think that somehow removing him or moving into the next election, we're going to get better, or is somebody now you can trust? Because that's what I typically see is everybody's going to just go back to sleep and you're not going to keep the same pressure on the next president. Ain't nothing wrong with putting the pressure on Trump, but shit, if you ain't had that same pressure on Biden, what are you doing?
Yeah, I just think it's going to get worse, man. I think once Trump, because I think the Democrats are going to win 2026 and 2028. And I think that they're going to take Trump's playbook and tenfold it, bro. Like I'm talking about go hard. And then once, then like the public opinion is going to sway. Democrats will probably lose again if they don't win back to back. And then it's going to be further us losing our rights and further pressure, on each other and become more tribal. So,
right there,
man, it's not looking.
We right there on that when this 2029, what was it, 2028 election, and that president get inaugurated 2029, day one, he gonna do most of the shit people been complaining about this year. He gonna do all that shit with one stroke of the pen. All that shit, that Gulf of America shit, and renaming the Kennedy Center and all that shit.
Yeah, they're gonna undo it for sure.
First day. You know what I'm saying? That's why I just don't, I don't think we should get all deep into whining and complaining about every little thing, because a lot of that shit gonna be gone January 20th, 2029. It won't even be here no more.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. But that's all I wanted to ask.
No doubt. Yeah, that's my fear, all this goddamn spookism ass shit. What's up, bro?
So let's look at protest riots and everything that's going on from a legal standpoint, right? Because you got a history too, so you understand the kind of reach that cops do and don't have inherently. Would you say that?
Oh yeah, that's where my position comes from. Absolutely.
So a lot of people keep making this really weird ass argument that ICE doesn't have jurisdiction to do whatever they're doing, but in my belief, had the ATF, DEA, or FBI shot Renee Good, they would still be saying Trump made them do it.
That's a fact. I agree.
I think people are taking these issues and politicizing them instead of realizing that, hey, there's consequences to set actions, and those consequences may not be pleasant, but they are the direct cause of a specific action. So what do we need to do as a people, or as people who are watching what's going on, need to do to prevent this BS from getting worse?
See, that's kind of my, that's my outlook on, like, bro, I got kids too, so, you know what I'm saying, fam, my kids drive, they out here, like, ain't nobody want to be concerned about ICE agents and all of that, so I don't celebrate their presence or nothing like that, but the reality is they the police, bro. And again, I understand why people pushing back, because a lot of this is new, but it is what it is, fam. Like, let this moment play out and stay your ass out the way. This is not the time for people to protest. And for all those people who keep saying, yeah, they trying to get to us and black people, this and that. Okay, so that's all the more reason to understand then. don't let this happen in a way in which it affects you. If they pull you over, fam, and it's ICE, yeah, fam, you can talk your shit. Who cares? But I'm saying, don't forget, this is law enforcement. Don't try to pull off like shit sweet. And I think that's the problem, John. People acting like they don't know just the simple parts of this. Like, fam, they steal the police. I don't care how you feel about they steal the police. Don't make it seem like we can just do whatever. We can't.
And one of the points, I love what you just said right there, because one of the things that a lot of the American citizens that have got arrested for is because they refused to prove their American citizenship. So they ended up being detained until it was then verified. Had they actually just been like, look, here's my driver's license number, you can literally pull me up. All right, we're done. Have a good day. Because at that point, immigration literally has nothing else to do with you, especially if the purpose of the stop was immigration.
Shout out to Chicago, 1288 with the 5. Where's the link? It's pinned at the top of the chat. You might be in Uda's chat. Shout out to Chicago for showing some love and support to the channel he is watching it on. Shout out to that. You could come to my channel and find the link. I did post it in the chat. I'm not sure if it went to your side. Shout out to Kev Stubbs with the $2. I thought y'all wanted a transparent president. Boy, if you don't sit your goofy ass there. Shout out to Sharon Braces, gifted 5 The Wildest Wake Up Show memberships. Hopefully y'all maintain it. I really would appreciate it if you would. Shout out to Trey with the $4.99. He says support. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
Like I say, it's just more about being careful, bro. Like at the end of the day, we can't use Trump as the boogeyman, but then make it sound like you want to go out there and fight the boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? If he the motherfucking boogeyman, then hey, get your ID and hand it to that goddamn officer. I understand the willingness, the desire to protest and all that. All that shit is great. But if you don't want the smoke that come with that shit, don't do that shit. Because I got my disorderly conducts. I got my obstructing official business. I got them shits on my record. I'm telling you something that I know. Some of this shit that's being qualified as okay is not. And I wouldn't want my son out there fighting the power on the side of the road, fucking with the police. Nigga, that's why they got them courts. Pull my son over and fuck with him as an ICE agent so I can take your dumb ass to court and we can get that bag. Ain't nobody trying to fight no shit on the side of the road. And you shouldn't be telling people that shit unless you're going to do it. And then I'll call you dumb for doing it.
And that's what my concern is. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, let's just be real about this shit. That's it. Let's just be real.
That's what my concern is. People keep going onto panels, and we've had this conversation for 2 weeks now, right? And we're supposed to be looking for the betterment of people, especially our people. But then we'll turn around and say, hey, you know what? If ICE is fucking up, go out there and act an ass, and then, do whatever you got to do to make sure they don't get what they want to get. But in that same breath, you're not going to go out and do the same thing. I'm not telling people to go out and fuck with ICE because I'm like, look, because if they end up bamming you, I'm not going to be the one to bond you out. Like, sorry. Like, I'm not going to tell, but if my kids are not watching you, now they're listening to you saying, well, maybe this is a good idea. Maybe it is a good idea to stand up to the people who are proceeding in a federal investigation.
But Rosie, just right quick, Rosie saying nobody said to go and protest, and I agree they not saying that. But if you're saying these coded sentences like stand up and fight, don't let the system step on you. How long we gonna let them do this before it get to us? Those are the things that imply you should be fighting. You should be protesting. And I'm just saying, ain't nobody gonna say it outright because they know it's gonna be a collective question away. Whoa. Like, hold on, I support some of this, but I ain't saying that. People know that we're not gonna support protesting. So they're not gonna say it, but it's coded language that implies we should be supporting the protests.
Right. I agree.
And I still think
I want to close out with these great productive thoughts. Kula, you have any final thoughts on what was just being said? I think this is a perfect place to end it on. Hey, we need to have the appropriate lessons teaching, especially to our youngest. Our youngest are the main ones that's going to go outside and protest. Protesting is more of a young people's game. It is not an older person's game. So you gotta be careful about who we are saying and what we are insinuating when we say go ahead and protest. Yes, baby.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong with to close out. I don't think there's nothing wrong with protesting, but do it the right way. Like if you really believe that ICE and all these people are bad, then go out and protest, But beware that there are people that are out there that are trying to get you to do something that potentially could get you fucked up, for other causes. So just be careful. I protested. It was fun. It was a great experience. But I didn't, I wasn't fucking throwing shit at police. I wasn't, in their face. I did get tear gas and whatnot, but that's that's just the thing of being out there with everybody. But yeah, man, like it's America, like protest, but don't fucking impede on the officers, man. Don't just let them do what they're gonna do, and then whoever gets in 2028, they'll go back and review everything, and those people, if they did bad, will get justice. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I close with that. I mean, let's stop living in the moment, because even as much as even the officer, he could be actually charged with this in the state in 2028. Minnesota could very well get this kicked right back to the state when Donald Trump ain't in office no more. And you see the officer having to deal with this a lot differently with another administration. So some of this stuff is the moment. And I get why we operate in the moment, but you may very well get exactly what you're looking for when there's another administration. So I'm just saying, fam, let's stop living in the moment. Let's, pay more attention to shit as it goes and not in that moment. So I do appreciate you, Sharon. Shout out to Josh, chat, SBG, Brownsville, everybody. PH Diva. I'll let y'all.
Thank you. We got Russell Red, 9893. Respect to your channel, brother. I'm new here, but as a Black American, I don't care what ICE does to others. Living here in this country illegally is not Black folks' fight. Stay out of the way. Shout out to Russell. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much, Russell. Hopefully you keep coming back. It's on you, Josh. What you got?
I'm going to close saying something similar to Taz. At the end of the day, like, y'all understand what it is. If you believe what Trump did in January 6th is wrong, then understand that what Tim Walz did is just as wrong. Even if you want to go protest, I need you to protect yourself. Don't fuck with these folks. They play bigger games. So just be safe. If you're going to go out there, just understand consequences.
Not wrong with being. Let me